Good evening, everyone, and welcome to McStabber Studios and our one shot this evening. Can we call it a haunted chronicle? It's horror. But it does take place in the universe, but far, far away. So, I am Tam. I will be your storyteller this evening, and I would like our players to introduce themselves. We'll start with Moira.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Moira, and tonight I will be playing Sage Patterson, your local payload specialist on the ship today. Overall, very scrutinizing, very confident in her scientific knowledge, but arguably not a good friend or crewmate.
I'm Urian, and I'll be playing Navigator Robert Burke tonight. The rest of the guys can get on with whatever they're doing. I've got to get back to my game on the console. Talk to y'all later.
I am Samantha McLarty, and I'm playing the corporate representative, Michelle Maddox. And I'm just here to do what is in the best interest of the corporation.
I am Shanky McStabber, and I am playing Chief Engineer Murdoch. Just a straight line grease monkey that works up in the engine. Thankfully, I've been allowed to bring my intern on this one, and Tug, you can give your introduction now.
I'm Tuggs McCoy. I went to MIT. I got really good grades, and I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm Chief Engineer Murdoch's intern, and I really have great respect for him. He's done phenomenal work in the field, and I'm just so excited to be allowed this opportunity. Tim, I think you're muted.
I said the voice, gotta love the voice. Right.
Hey, I asked permission.
You guys are a salvage crew for deep space. Mankind has just recently gotten out there, started doing some mining and stuff, and about 10 years ago, there was an incident. There was a mayday call that went in, and then a ship vanished. No sign of it. Until about 3 years ago, when there was a ping from its locator beacon out near Pluto. So they boxed you guys up, put you in your cryos, and got you on a military hauler to be dropped out there and salvage this machine. You are the raw crew. You don't know what you're going into, but you're experienced. Well, at least a couple of you are. So your job is to determine what's going on with this derelict, secure it, and bring it back for the corporation so that they can turn a profit on it. And I am about to send, I'm going to send to your corporate rep the information about your tasks and your equipment. So she'll be able to brief you once you're set up and on board. But what's happening for you right now is you are waking up from cryo. So your sergeant's standing over here, waiting for your pods to open and you to get out. Who wakes up first?
Okay,
I'll go.
I guess I wake up first.
Okay, go Shanky.
Bright lights above me. That's why I got my sunglasses on in the cryo. I know it's always bright in these rooms. Man, I've told him, don't wake me up with the light on so bright. Damn it, man.
Yeah. The lights aren't even on in here. Just get your butt out of the unit.
Okay.
Come on, you're wasting my power. Time for you guys to get out and earn your keep.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna earn it. Just man, you should have a better bedside manner when you're waking people up. You know, you ever had a cold shower? multiply that by like 5 million, and that's what I'm just waking up from. Seriously.
Just a minute. He walks across the room, comes back a few minutes later, and pitches some ice cold water on you. That good enough, sweetheart?
That's still warmer than what I've just been through. Ugh. I'll send you the bill. You know this is a company uniform.
Charge the Marines. Right.
Damn jarheads.
Navigator Burke, you said you were waking up next.
Yep. I am feeling a little crusty, but I guess try to push the pod open. Just get the hell out of there. I've been in there. I have no idea how long, but it's however long it was too long. I hate going and cry asleep.
Hey, Burke.
What?
They've beat your score.
No.
Yep.
No, you didn't.
Not me. One of the recruits, believe it or not.
No, that can't stand. I'm gonna fix that.
Well, they got it set up for you, waiting for you down in the mess.
All right.
He walks over and taps on the other three and, come on, ladies, wake up. What's taking these three so long? Murdoch, what's wrong with your little girl over there?
What do you expect? He's an intern. They always slack asses. He better hurry up and get out of that damn coffin there so that he can grab my toolkit. I don't feel like carrying it down to the mess.
Oh, Tugs trips on his way to get out of the pod as hurriedly as possible. And Dr. Murdoch, are you okay? Oh my goodness, you're all wet. What did they do to you? He takes a little like towel out of his pocket and tries to rub down.
I'm good.
Dry you off.
Look.
Oh, you're all wet. You're gonna catch a cold. Oh my God.
Just go get my toolkit.
Oh, where is it?
Meet me in the. That's not my problem. My problem is I'm missing my toolkit. You go get my toolkit.
Oh.
Meet me down in the mess because I've got to get some chow.
Oh, I'll go right away. Okay.
McCoy, did you actually take Did you actually take a rubber ducky into your cryo unit with you?
No. Maybe. It gives me comfort, okay? I've had it since I was a child. It squeaks on its own sometimes.
Oh, Lord,
thankfully, I have my
mercy.
music loud enough most of the time I don't hear it.
All right, who wakes up next?
I can. So yeah, Michelle wakes up. Oh, I'm never gonna get used to cryo sleep.
Well, that's because you don't just file the paperwork, ma'am. Come on, let's get you out of there. Get you some coffee. Get you behind a desk. Pick a pencil in your hand, and you'll be fine.
Be a dear. Help me out.
Yes, ma'am. And he puts a hand out and yanks.
And then I will start readying myself.
All right. Well, I
All
wonder
right,
what's.
Sage, late to the party.
he kind of knocks on the thing a little bit and wipes off so he can see your face, and so you see this big face look in and go.
And I open it immediately. I push him back a little bit.
All right.
Oh yes, are we ready? Who all is up?
Everybody's up, Miss Patterson.
Excellent. Everything in order, I assume?
All of our stuff's in order.
Great. Well, I will go make sure that our stuff is also in order. Thank you for waking us up. It is always appreciated. If there are any hazards, do let me know.
Well, I think first all of you need to head to the mess, get some nutrients in you. You just woke up after all. And by the way, it's 2037. Hope you all had a nice nap.
Yes, definitely. Been needing a nap that long for a while now, so I actually feel pretty spry, ready to go. There's coffee, I assume?
Oh, there's always coffee on a military ship, ma'am.
Excellent. Well, I'll report back to you in the future if necessary.
All right. So the system actually has lights that guide you down into the galley where everything is set up for you. As soon as you walk in, Sergeant walks in and All right, clear out. The mess is theirs. Out, 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 out.
So Tam, real quick, I'm looking for his toolkit. So I don't know if you want me to be with them, but I'm definitely like running all over the place trying to find it.
You would be herded. Somebody would grab you and escort you back to the galley.
Okay.
And as you are brought into the room, Sergeant will look over at you and, McCoy, what is your malfunction?
I had to find Dr. Murdoch's toolkit. He really needs it right now, and I was trying to find it, but I don't really know the layout of this place, so I'm not really sure where I'm going.
His
if you could just
toolkit-
direct me to the toolkit.
His toolkit is with the rest of the gear on the derelict, and once you finish your breakfast and your briefing, we'll take you over there.
Oh, Dr. Murdoch, I'm so sorry. They're not letting me go get your toolkit until we finish breakfast. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. I'll try. I'm so sorry, Dr. Murdoch.
I pull out a little notebook and I'm just making a little note in my notebook.
Oh.
That sound you hear is the sound of Tug's heart sinking even lower. I know it sounded like a water leak, but that was actually his heart. All right. So you guys have the galley. There's food laid out for you, coffee. There's a tea bag and no hot water because they assume nobody actually wants tea, but it's there. Sarge takes a seat in the back of the room, and Rep Maddox, if you want to get a move on, why don't you go ahead and bring them up to speed?
All right. So, this is what we need to do. We need to secure any hull breaches and pressurize all the living area specifically for us. We must prepare an emergency evac site, just in case like anything's actually going to happen. Pretty standard stuff. Restore the power, of course, bring up the computers, bring up the engines online, and drive the ship to port. The equipment that we have currently is, our personal environment suits, and we all have at least one O2 supply, cryo suspension pods, an O2 generator plus flow control, and electrical welding. Let me just check my notes. Hold on. Yes, electrical welding, thermal shape charge, and is this the X? No, that's 8x4 plate steel, 4x4 plate steel, generator, kickstart A1. The usual typical things that you would need for this sort of mission. I'm sure you guys are completely capable of handling all of this. So, what's the plan? What are you guys intending on doing first? Exactly. Like, what are we doing?
Do they expect that this vessel is not in poor shape? Saying we have to restart the computers and fly it into port.
As long as it's been out there running, I would expect. Hopefully, the engine went into emergency shutdown mode. Otherwise, if it just died without shutting itself down cleanly, it's gonna be a pain. Tug might have to start crawling along in the backside, and might even have to send them EVA to check the external parts of it. This ship's been there a while, so we don't know. I don't know why it shut down. The beacon's been off. That's why it took so long to find it.
Yeah,
so if the beacon's been off.
Has it been through any major fields? Could it have potentially been hit by space debris?
Well,
I'm looking at potential punctures. I
think I can help you with that. It has 3 major hull breaches that we've been able to see so far.
Hence
Fantastic. Wonderful.
steel 4x4s. And
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
Well, first off, the emergency evacuation dock, there isn't one. It's kind of open to space. There also appears to be a large hole back in the engine area. And, this will make it a little tough for your navigator there. You know that front view screen that goes out there that's made of that thick space? It's gone.
Wonderful. Just wonderful.
I'm sure that
All
won't be a
right.
problem. It'll be fine. You can
So-
handle it, right?
Oh, sure.
Are we going to get
absolutely.
it?
Wonderful.
I didn't know that this view screen was out in the front. Any chance you Marine types, you ask Skipper or whatever about, can I get one a smaller portable unit maybe I can rig up on the bridge so that, Flyboy there can see where we're flying?
The equipment the company provided you has already been moved over, and there is a list of it available there that your corporate representative has.
So let me guess. Cut costs, minimum of investment to recover it. So guess what? You're flying blind today, buddy. Have fun,
Hey,
Burke.
the good news is the equipment you do have, it was built by the lowest bidder.
Oh, I feel better
It's top
about
of
that.
the line stuff, I promise. I absolutely assure you, it is grade A material.
I've heard that line before.
Well, good. You should
Tug,
be
I
used
hope
to it
you're
then.
ready for some spacewalking.
Oh, I am
Yep.
100% ready, Dr. Murdoch. And if there's any equipment that you have questions about, I would be happy to test any of it at any time. Just let me know.
I'm going to have a job for you the moment we get in the engine room. Don't worry.
I can't wait. And hopefully you
Everyone
can
should be-
cross out that demerit in your notebook, Dr. Murdoch.
See, everyone should be more like this lovely one right here. Just ready to go. So let's get ready to go and get going. Yeah?
All right. Well, we've already checked out your suits, so all of your suits are ready. Each one of them has the O2 supplies charged. You have 3 hours in it. So hopefully you can get something sealed up within 3 hours, because I will let you know, atmosphere inside the Inverness is currently at 0%.
Joy.
All right.
All right.
When you guys finish your meal and any other discussions you want to have prepping to get ready, let me know. And then we will move you over to the ship.
So if we've got holes in it, Specialist Patterson, you might be kind of important to make sure that wherever the holes aren't, there's been no leaks this ship's been sitting there a while. I don't want to find out the few compartments with air aren't really breathable.
Yes, of course. If anything has been punctured that could potentially create a harmful substance after oxidation, would definitely need to check that out. That's why I had concern about the hole breaches. I mean, depending on what material had impacted the ship and what caused those breaches, who knows what kind of reactions it could have caused. But I assure you, towards the areas that the holes are, I'd be happy to check out first to make sure everything is clear, and I will not let any of this crew go into an area that is not safe to be in.
Well, if you have questions about the safety of an area, I'm sure Tugs over there will be glad to check the safety guidelines of a given ship section.
Oh yes.
Tugs, do you
Totally ready.
do you hope to specialize in such things like hazards, materials used in spaceships? What is your...
Not particularly. I'm just excited to learn from Dr. Murdoch and soak up whatever knowledge he can instill in me.
Okay, well, the knowledge he's giving you right now is walking into a hazardous area, so maybe soak that up with a grain of salt.
You have to do that when you're an engineer. If we only go to safe places, the ships don't function.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I'll do my job and you can do yours, I suppose.
He can be our Tugs in a coal mine.
And Representative Maddox, just so you know, he's not directly on the corporate payroll, so there's no liability problems with this one.
Wonderful. Even better. Oh my goodness. Yes, this is just so much better. Oh, we're going to be able to really, really utilize your skills, Tugs.
Hey,
Really
Tugs.
utilize them.
Tugs, I'm thinking you might want to swap out your uniform's the wrong one. You should be in a red shirt.
Oh,
No, I have the red shirt.
Cam just got a survival point.
I didn't bring any red shirts. All I brought
Don't
was
worry.
this black spacesuit that's very form-fitting, and it's a little tight. But I read in a book written by the great Dr. Fucus Nolan that if you wear form-fitting suits and an astronaut suit, it really helps with the muscle contraction and the blood flow.
Oh, I read that same book.
And also, red's not a very flattering color on me.
All right.
I'll try to make sure that when I have to have you squeeze into the smaller areas, that none of the sharp edges create some unnecessary red.
I know you're always going to look after my safety, Dr. Murdoch.
Of course.
Mr. Burke, I believe you said there was something you wanted to do before you left the ship.
Yeah, just as we're heading out, I want just to add a little piece of equipment to our inventory surreptitiously.
Okay. Give us a clue what you'd like to do.
Well, I'd like to, when nobody's looking, I'd like to grab the arcade monitor that the sergeant set up for me to beat their high score. I just want to grab it and take it with me,
All
so
right.
I can play the game and beat their high score while we're gone.
Okay. This sounds like an obscure check for me. It's not exactly a risky one. This is not life or limb, but it could impact the way things go. So go ahead and give me an obscure check. And our first check of the game. Let's see how the dice like Navigator Burke. Well, Navigator Burke, I wasn't thinking it was too difficult, but the target would have been 15. And
Yeah.
What did you roll?
The 10.
10. That's correct. So as you are making your way out with it, the sergeant, as you walk by, this big hand comes down, grabs it, and goes, "You have to beat your score while you're on the ship. I'm afraid your chance is over for that one." Nice try, though.
I had to try. I mean, while I
Don't
got
worry,
nothing else
Burke.
to do.
I'm sure we can repurpose maybe the scanner suites monitor to
Maybe
handle what you need.
Yeah, appreciate that. It's really important to me. Got to beat
not
them
a problem.
jarheads.
Oh,
I'd assume based on Tug's personality, he's probably got a Game Boy hidden somewhere.
Oh, no, I would never bring entertainment when we have a job and a mission to do.
Oh,
There
you'll
we
learn.
go. That work ethic right there. Now I'm going to need you all to take an example. Like, follow his lead.
I am always professional on the job, miss.
Are you asking someone who's devoted 20 years of research to follow the lead of the intern that's willing to walk into an area that has hazardous contaminants?
The intern that doesn't bring a Game Boy along with them.
Look, I am the
Because
only
they
one on
know
this
what is
crew.
important.
Does he
I'm
have
the
a
only one in this
PhD in
crew
not
in
bringing a Game
corporate
Boy?
uniform. Wait a minute. I'm literally the only one in corporate uniform, and you're questioning my work ethic?
All right,
We're off
come
to a
on
good
now.
start.
It is time.
And corporate.
It's time. It's time for
I-
us to get going. We need to get on the move and get this job finished.
I just
I
want
have
to
things
say,
that I need to do back home. So come on.
okay. I just want to make sure you know I've crashed less than the corporate disqualifying quota of ships, so I'm still okay.
Oh, so you've only you've crashed less than, I think they had a 30% margin last time I checked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
still under.
Yeah, how many
That's
points do you
reassuring.
have on that license there?
11.
You have
Big
space.
bada boom.
Big bada boom.
All right. So they spend the next 20, 30 minutes getting everybody
yes.
suited up and escorting you over to the Inverness. And I am going to bring up the Inverness on roll 20. And you will see a highlighted area. That's pretty much all you're going to see. I'll go ahead and expand that a little bit more for you. Anybody who's watching on the Twitch channel gets to see more of the ship. It won't matter, but shame on you for cheating. You shouldn't be cheating like that. So if you want to drag your tokens over to the area that you can see.
I just see a black square.
I see black.
then
Yeah, I
you
don't see
probably
anything
need
but
to
black.
you probably need to navigate around a little bit then, because it is there.
I've zoomed all the way out, and it's still a
Hmm.
black square.
Yeah.
We had this problem
I
once
don't see
before
it.
with Roll20. Let me try again, see if it'll. Let me check settings here, because Roll20 did this to us before.
Navigator Burke, why are you like this?
Well, I like flying blind. Well, I don't like it, but
All right, now can you see it?
it should. It flashed briefly and then is gone now.
Yeah.
Then it's a black
gone
square again.
Scroll up to the left. I see somebody just dragged a token onto it. I'm going to drag that token over to where the highlighted scene is. Come on, Roll20, behave for us.
I mean, I pulled mine over, but it just dropped and I can't see it. So
I moved it over to where it actually needs to be.
okay.
I can't even see a token. And I
yeah,
am
I don't
zoomed
see
out as far
anything.
as it goes and can't move the map any.
All right.
So-
Well, thank you, Roll20, for working as good as usual. Let me see what I can do here.
I could always just reload the page and watch everything break.
All right, so we're revealing. I'm going to do that and then do that. We had to do this when I played the other night. I had to tell it to hide areas and then reveal areas, and then it would work. So
See Tam getting all fancy.
no,
I think I know what the problem is. The lights are off in the ship, so we can't see anything.
that's what it
See
is.
something.
Okay,
Hey, I see it.
now
There we go.
I love this. So if anybody's using Roll20 and you're having an issue with the new Fog of War, it's hide area, hide area, hide area, reveal area, then reveal the area, and it'll work. I'm serious. If you do it any less than 3 times, it doesn't work.
So you're saying it's like a Windows box. You got to reboot it 3 times.
You got to reboot it 3 times. So what you will see in that area is where you are standing, which is on top of one of the cargo bay doors. You'll also see a black area. That is a second set of cargo bay doors that are not working properly, so they were unable to close those. So technically, that'll be another hull breach. So you'll have to take care of that problem as well. The 4 crates that are in the red squares, that is your equipment. Those are boxes containing all of your equipment that was listed earlier, and that Representative Maddox has the list for you.
Tugs is gonna straight away just go over and start digging through for the toolkit.
All right. That's not a risky thing. You'll find it no problem. As you were being brought over, they pointed out to you the breaches. So the dock area has a 16 by 8 breach in it. The front glass structure, 25 feet by 7 feet. That whole section is missing, and the struts that would normally hold it in place are damaged. Almost looks like it was blown out from the inside. Back near the engine area, they showed you a hole back in that area, and that is 8 feet by 12. And of course, the cargo bay door that we just mentioned, which is how they brought you in to begin with. Sarge taps, salutes you, says, "Good luck. We'll be in range for about 14 hours, and then we're going to kick it out of here."
Do the doors look like the doors that are intact? They look like they're still airtight. I'm curious whether I need to patch this giant hole before we worry about opening a door and venting what little oxygen might be left on the ship into space.
And our gear and us.
Yep. From what you can tell, I mean, if you want to run an investigation on the status of them, you are obviously welcome to use any skill you have to do that. In this case, it would fall under identify.
Since Tugs is grabbing my toolkit, time for me to run a diagnostics on the door now, isn't it?
All right. Sounds good to me.
Or if I use my diagnostic toolkit on the door, let's see what happens. 17. I'll take that.
You have a positive lock on this. Now, the one thing you did have to do is using your diagnostic kit, you had to supply enough power to bring the sensors up for the door. There is absolutely no voltage running through this ship.
So the oxygen scrubbers are offline. Power is offline. Well, this is going to be an enjoyable trip.
There's a comment in the chat I have to share. Those aren't breaches. That's chunks of missing ship.
Just
Correct.
misplaced.
Yeah,
Don't
they're
worry.
misplaced.
Just misplaced.
All right. So
That's our AC unit, isn't it? We open up the windows.
Yeah, exactly. 55-2s.
all right, everyone. I need to know on first glance, obviously, first being here. ETA. What do you think?
I won't know until I get to
About
the
how
engine
long
room.
do you think it'll take?
We've
I
seen
don't know the
one portion of the ship.
I don't know the condition of the engines, and I won't know until me and Tugs get down there and we get a chance to look around. There's no power at all, which means either the engine went into its safe shutdown, which should have left a trickle of emergency power, or the engine scragged itself, in which case we're really screwed because we have no juice. Now, the power plant it may be just a broke line somewhere along the line, and the plant may be fine. We need to get down to engineering before I can figure that out.
Right. Well, let me put a little perspective spin on all of this. They'll be out of range in 14 hours. You guys have 10 hours to get this thing going, okay? If not, we might be in a little bit of trouble, and I'd rather not be in a little bit of trouble. So you got 10 hours to get it going. Otherwise, I'm going to have to call them back.
I'm
And we
pretty
don't
sure we
want
don't even have
that.
10 hours of oxygen, so it's okay.
Okay, good deal. So we're on the same page then. 10 hours. Did I make
Yeah.
myself clear?
I think we get the
You guys want
motivation.
paychecks? Yeah.
So what you're
Good.
saying is don't worry about the hole in the floor. That's not the priority right now. The priority is getting back to the engine room. Got it.
There you go. You can head to the engine room and Miss
We'll do our
Sage,
thing, don't worry.
she can do her thing and get patch the breaches. I don't really care what you do. You just have 10 hours to do it. Got it?
And
Great.
I personally recommend Tugs and perhaps Burke, if you're interested and have the ability to patch up any holes. I can go ahead and do a scan
need
of
Tugs
the
with me.
area.
Tug's
Okay.
got to go with me to the engine. My suggestion, Burke, you need to get on the bridge. If anywhere still has any functioning emergency power, that would be the last place. Everything else would have shut down as non-priority if power was low, but the bridge would be the last place to lose power. So
All right, I'll head up that way.
I'll
and
go
see
with
if I
you.
All right. Let's see if I can
Okay,
scrounge
well, I'll
anything
scan
on
the
the
ship
way.
for hazards while everyone else is already going to the part that may have hazards. Perfect. All right, sounds good. Go team. And I'll-
we've got oxygen contained in our suits for now. This is the time to do it.
As long as we don't
Fine.
snag our suits, we fine.
yes,
Exactly.
well,
See? Positive
there might be plenty of
thinking.
opportunities to snag our suits, so
Watch out for the hole.
let's be careful. Okay.
What hole? Whoa, that hole. Okay.
Let's all just keep a positive attitude. We all want to get paid. We all want to get out of here. So let's go team. Yeah. Good deal.
So I take my toolkit, my diagnostic kit that I was using, I just tuck it in my pocket. Tugs, carry my bag. Let's go down to engineering.
absolutely. Let's get this fixed. We can definitely do this in 10 hours. I have no doubt.
Okay.
We'll do something in 10 hours.
So what you're calling engineering is basically going to be the generator engine section of this craft. It's not a fancy craft with a bunch of separated rooms on it. So basically you're headed back to where the breach is, that 8x12 breach at the back of the ship. So I'm going to reveal that area so you can pop over there and take a look at it. Let's see if it actually lets me reveal the area. Hey, I think it did. Oh, space chihuahuas are barking. Sorry about that, folks.
There
And
we go. I'm in an engine room.
all right. Where's everybody else headed? I see Tugs and Murdoch headed back that way.
I'm going to grab my navigator toolkit, which is basically just my maps for this part of space, maybe a small PDA with me.
Okay.
That's really about all I would be carrying.
Right. You know these ships, so you're pretty familiar with the area you want to head to. So I'm going to light that up for you a little bit along the path. We'll take you up to that door right there. And it didn't light it, did it? Here
Nope.
we go. Like I said. Let me do the game. Da, 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 da. There we go. It's amazing how that works.
Okay.
It's a combination fog of war. So that's going to take you up to this first door here. The door is closed.
Okay. What is it saying? Either talking to me or are there any indicators on the door that indicate pressurization on the other side?
There is
Anything?
nothing. There is no power to be seen anywhere on this ship at this point.
Is there a manual door handle that I can use to pull it open?
Why don't you look around and see? Give me an identify check. Target's 15.
13.
You are
Steve.
looking around all over this place, Steve. I mean, Mr. Burke. And you're not seeing there should be one, but you don't seem to be able to locate it.
Rep Maddox, do you see a door handle anywhere here we can use to get through this door?
Not really, but I mean, just a moment. Must I do everything? Can I look around and see if I can find one?
Absolutely. I'm tempted to just let you
Alright.
find it, but that would be so cruel.
All right, so it's going to be the identify roll again as well.
Yes.
Hold on. All right.
You look around and it's there's a reason Burke couldn't find it. It's got corrosion and stuff. I mean, this place has been open to space. All sorts of stuff has wandered in here and accumulated over the last 10 years. So you find it, you're able to scrape the stuff off and hit the manual release, but it's a crank. So it's going to take you a few minutes of exertion cranking this handle in order to get the door open.
Hey, thank you for
Actually-
finding that. I kind of expected the equipment to be in better shape.
Well, as I said, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. With that being said, also, this crank, yeah, you seem like a strapping, strong person. Why don't you
Fair enough. I'll work it.
take over?
Okay.
All right. So
And I
while-
start cranking on it.
all right, while you're doing that, I'm going to check in with Specialist Patterson and see what's going on.
Yeah, so I would basically just like to, my main goal as payload specialist is just make sure I protect everyone from what I specialize in. So I mostly focus on potential hazards that I know have been built into the ship. The Inverness is a ship that I had worked on before.
Okay.
So I would go to probably the main areas where I know one of the tasks was making sure like lodgings, like general, like crew lodgings is cleared. So probably be the first place I'd start just to make sure there's no major leaks, any weird smells.
Right. Well, then you would be in the same area as Burke and Maddox because they are headed in the direction of the crew quarters.
Oh, perfect.
As a matter of fact, you know that the room that's on the other side of this, well, original build was the galley.
Great. Cool. So I'll just probably, I mean, they're focused on getting to the bridge, right? And there's not a handle on the door.
Yeah, they're having to do a crank to get it open because the doors would normally automatically open, but with no power, has to be done by hand.
I'll wait.
Okay.
They can do it.
This is going to
I'm
take a
cranking
few
away.
minutes. I'm going to check back and see what our engineering team is doing back in the back right now.
Okay, the very first question, is there any air in the engine compartment or is it completely airless?
There is no air in here, and as you look up, you have a wonderful view of space.
How in the hell am I going to listen to my music? Okay, your first job.
I can hum something for you if it would help.
Your first job, Tugs, is to get my music player out of my gear and wired. I don't care how you do it. Plug it into your suit system and start transmitting some tunes. Let's go with Sunglasses at Night. I think we're going to start. If we'll pull up my playlist for the, it's old, but 1980s roughly, and let's get some music going so I can figure this out.
Okay. Dr. Murdoch, I'm totally happy to do that for you, but you're aware that the microphones are in the inside of the space helmet, right?
Yeah, you need to wire it in. I don't care where you need to get it in there somehow. This is a test to see how creative you are to find a solution. You see, while you're doing that, I'm going to go and check the engine and see if, well, not the engine, the power plant, really. I'm going to go see if I can get the power plant back online to get some juice to things, and then we'll worry about the engines after that. But
okay, I'll try. I'll try to do something.
if you need to use one of my tools, yeah, I'll let you use one of the tools. You can use the tools out of the bag. Just, you're not going to do with the diagnostic. I've got to have that.
Okay, all right. So Tam, I'm gonna go find his music player.
Okay.
And the maneuver I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to pop off the helmet real quick, stick the headphones right next to the microphone, and then pop it back on. I'm gonna hold my breath before I do this. I feel like this is a dangerous maneuver that I'm trying.
It is absolutely a dangerous maneuver that you are attempting to do.
So can I get a survival point for my bad habit, which is will put himself in harm's way for the chief engineer?
Absolutely. Congratulations. Okay. You are the first to gain a survival point. Let's see if you're the first. I don't think
I've ever gotten one before.
Let's see if you're going to lose. Tell me what skill you would think applies to.
Okay, let me see. This is like a super quick. I have no idea.
I'm going to let you either operate it as a protect because you are trying to save your own life.
Okay, protect sounds good.
All right.
I'll take protect.
All right. Give me a protect roll. I'm going to let you know you are going to have a risk target for this that is fairly high.
Okay.
First thing I'm going to say, did you already roll? Because I haven't looked up, but I have.
I did. You don't have to look at it.
I'm not looking at it. Okay. To just at the minimum be successful is going to take a 15, but in doing so, you're going to lose an hour's worth of air. Okay. If you can make a 20 or above, you're able to do it without losing any air. Shall I look now?
Yeah, I got an 18.
All right, so you are now down an hour's worth of air in your suit.
Okay, so I got 2 hours of air left.
You've got 2 hours left.
Okay, I toss the helmet back. I close it up. Okay, Dr. Murdoch, can you hear that?
There we go. That's what I needed. Now I can use my. I think I'm
leaking air right now because there's a little hole space in the helmet where the headphones, like the wire is. I think I'm leaking a little bit of air.
Just tighten the seal a little tighter.
But
it's going to make taking it off. Actually, go into my bag and get the spray. I've got a little liquid weld. You can just put a little right there on where your suit joins, and it'll keep the air from leaking out. Don't worry, we can remove it. I've got a tool that'll take it right back off later.
Oh, okay, sounds good, doctor. And yeah, I guess I'll do that. I'll spray some.
I see Murdoch is saying, we're going to be underwater and I don't want you to lose any air. So take this plastic bag and tie it tightly around your head. Take a deep breath first.
The real test may be that if he survives this journey, he can be my trainee. And if he doesn't, well, he didn't pass the test. So now that I've got some tunes going, I know this is like a century old. Doesn't matter. It's great stuff. I like the old stuff. Now I'm going to use my diagnostic tool to start going over the main power plant to see if I can figure out the power problem.
All right. Give me an identify roll. And I'm not telling you.
I'm
your
using my
target.
specialization, of course, because that's what my diagnostic tool's for.
All right.
19.
Okay. Well, a couple of things that you identify here. Number one, there's no power. Whatever happened on the ship severed the connections between any batteries that are available and the engine. So if there's anything left in the batteries, you don't know because you don't have a connection to them. You've got to unassemble some stuff. It'll take you about an hour to do that, to get down to those batteries from inside the ship. Of course, there's always the possibility to go outside and see what you can find.
But, okay, so that's the battery part. What's the chances of me just crash starting the engines to start generating some power? Just fucking do a crash start.
You have to have power to start them. You have no other way to get them going.
So we've got to go get the batteries.
Well, keep in mind, you also have some equipment that was brought with you that the representative listed off. So think about those things as well.
Yeah, I
also-
did take notes. Because Murdoch doesn't rely on corporate shit. That's normal.
You also found a fuel leak. So you know that there's at least fuel available, but you're going to have to resolve that. And it just happens to be in the same area where the breach is in the hull. So whatever caused the damage that breached the hull also punctured the primary fuel line.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do, Tugs. I need you to get the R95 patch material out of my equipment there. You're going to work on this patch link. While you're doing that, I'm going to start taking things apart to get down into the batteries because, I mean, we could go outside to do it, but damage here like this, punching a hole, means if we try to go outside, we may just get around and still not be able to get into the battery section because too much damage outside. So I'm just going to start taking shit apart. And if I don't feel it's critical to the operation of the ship to get it back to base, I'm not going to really be that careful about how I remove it to try to save time.
All right.
Okay, I'll get on that right away. What was that playlist you wanted to listen to again? I'm just now pulling up your iPod.
It's listed Sunglasses at Night. It's got a way before, well, everyone's time here pretty much. It's good music. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it's Corey
Okay.
Hart. It's classic.
I'm going to have to pause it if I need to talk to you because you're not going to hear me over the music in the microphone.
Okay, but every time you pause it, I'm going to make a note in the notebook.
Okay, I also don't think I can play this music because of copyright infringement, so we're just going to have to all imagine.
Oh, yeah. And that's all you can do so they don't blank us on YouTube.
Feel free to open up Spotify and listen for yourself. All right. So I'm going to jump back to everybody else in here. And you've spent about 20 minutes cranking on this door, and it has opened up about 3/4 of the way at this point, so you can easily get through it without risk. One good thing, the seal seems to have been intact. So
Okay.
if you can get
So
this
it
door
looks like I
closed-
could. Yeah, it looks like I could close it, and it would hold the oxygen. If
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Okay.
And the room that this opens onto is, in fact, the galley. So I'm going to bring the galley into focus here, it says. And guess what? It did it again. Let's try it one more time. There we go. All right. So you now have
Oh, look,
access to the galley.
look at Sage running ahead just to make everything safe for us.
Good teamwork.
Perfect. Just entering this area, is there any obvious other breaches? Any major repairs that need to be done to make this a suitable galley?
As you scan around here, as this area was sealed off by the other doors that you can see around the area, it did not pick up any space debris, any junk, any things that might have been around. It actually seems in pretty good shape. There is some stuff on the table that lets you know people had been having a meal in here when whatever happened occurred. So you have space dried foods that are sat out. And as soon as you open the door to this, there was no air pressure in this room. So nothing got blown or sucked or blasted or burst or anything. It's just sitting there like it has for over 10 years.
Looks like there's another door down to, well, the bottom left. Is there a window that we can peep through to see what's in the other room?
Can you ping where you're talking about? Because I was not looking up there when you said that. If you hit the arrow button at the top and then, yep, there you go. Okay, that is a door. There is no, well, I'll say there's a small porthole in it, and from it you can see a hallway. You can't see much of it because it's pitch black.
Okay, but it doesn't look like it had been decompressed.
Nope, that door is sealed.
Okay. Are there any electrical junction boxes in this room that we could, say, hook one of the generators to?
There will be several places designed for that. So definitely, yes, you would be able to easily identify them in this room.
So this area is, for the most part, already pressurized. You just need to fix everything else on the ship in terms of securing, pressurizing a living area.
Yep.
And
signage on the doors, just so everybody knows. The signage on this door over here where I'm pinging says emergency evacuation dock. The signage on this door over here to the north, crew quarters.
Right.
The signage on this door, bridge.
Cool. Yeah, Sage would kind of wish best of luck to Burke and Maddox. Are you both interested in me tagging along to the bridge as well to secure any pollutants, or do you mind if I continue on towards the living quarters?
Oh, poke your head into the bridge, see if you see any obvious safety violations.
Sure. Main thing you should ever be concerned about is smells. If you can smell something, then it's probably too late.
I don't really think that we're gonna have too much of a problem with smelling something right now.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, yes. Correct. In the future, if you ever smell anything bad, for now, the best I can do is use my kit, which means, yes, it probably is best that I go forth. I'll go ahead and peek in. And then how is this door working? Is it able to...
This door is sealed. There is no power to it. There is a manual crank.
Great. Let's go.
Okay, I guess my burden to bear, so I'll start cranking.
All right.
And while you're cranking, you hear me come over the headset mics, and you hear music blaring. Power's out, like totally fucked. The ship it's all screwed. I'm taking shit apart, and we have a fuel leak too, but Tugs will take care of that.
Murdoch,
I can't hear you. My music's too loud. So that's the status. Have fun. Don't die. And then it guts off.
I'm going to use the headset and say, Tugs, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the current clock countdown? How many hours do we have left?
Geez, I don't know. But Dr. Murdoch has everything under control. Don't even worry about that. He's got his music on. He's in the zone. He's about ready to go to town on this engine.
Okay. Just for the record, though, I'm gonna guesstimate and say that we have about 8 hours left.
Oh, I hope not. I just lost an hour of air a second ago.
But I suggest you work fast, okay?
Okay, will do.
Tugs, hey Tugs, while you're on the phone, can you relay a message to Murdoch? Ask him what the feasibility is of connecting one of the generators we brought over just for temporary power.
Oh, he's gonna get mad if I have to pause his iPod.
I think he won't really mind.
Oh, okay. I hit pause real quick and
God damn, out of the zone.
Dr. Murdoch, Navigator Burke, he was suggesting that we could use, I guess we brought a couple of generators. We could probably use that to jumpstart the engine.
We could, but we're going to need the battery power. Look, The engines look pretty fucked anyway. I tell you what, Tugs, if you want to try to, after you deal with the fuel leak, if you want to just hotwire that generator in, let's see how well you can hotwire something. I'm going to keep dismantling this because if we don't charge the batteries, that generator's not going to last long anyway. And even if we start the engine, it could shut right back off. We need to be able to charge the real batteries. Come on. That's only like a 2 gigawatt generator. It's not going to fucking power shit other than maybe a door or two. Go ahead.
Sounds good to me.
Wire it in.
As
And then turn my fucking music back on.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Tick-tock.
Dr. Murdoch.
Tick tock. That's the sound of your paychecks ticking away.
And I don't hear the music come back on. So as soon as the music comes back on, it's okay. There we go. I'm back in the zone. Get back to work dismantling shit. And as I'm dismantling, I am literally, if I don't think it's needed, I'm chucking it around the
Now,
room.
keep
as I
it in
work.
mind, there is no gravity, so there is now debris all throughout the cargo bay.
Some of it's
And-
floating out the hole. If it's
And
not
I was going to
really
say, and some
vital,
of it
I
may go
don't
out
care.
the hole. Okay. All right.
If it's not vital,
Great.
All right. Burke, I assume you have finished cranking the
Okay.
second door open. When you crank this open, again, there was no air pressure anywhere. It's totally equalized on both sides, meaning it's at 0. And as you get the door 3/4 of the way open, you realize looking out front, normally there would be a bit of a glare of some kind, a haze or something, just from the 3-inch thick glass.
But there
it's-
isn't.
It's crystal clear. You
Oh,
can
must have
see
upgraded
forever.
they must have upgraded the windscreen.
And I will let
Sam,
you
real
all
quick,
know 40 minutes of time have passed. You now have 2 hours and 20 minutes left.
Cool. Tam, was there a manual crank for the living quarters as well?
There is a manual crank for the living quarters as well.
Okay. I would have been working on that at the same time as Burke was working on his.
Excellent. As you crank on this, and you have to do a few cranks to get it started and get all the pressure built up, you make a couple of more cranks on it, and then you are hit with a blast of air. You can actually hear it as it impacts with your suit. And you can see it as the air comes out of this pressurized area into a zone of 0 pressure. And then it's gone.
What was that?
Well, I would personally have a kit that's got some kind of detections. I've got like a way to detect if there's any O2 interaction, like strips for like any major chemicals. So was there any primary like
Let's assume
hazards
you
that came, or that was
let's
just
assume
kind
you
of a gust?
let's assume you had this turned on while you were doing the crank, and give me an identify check, and let's see if it found anything.
Sure.
So, would I have heard or seen any evidence of that gust of?
Since you were looking out the front, I think not, but you would have heard it over the mic in her suit. It would have been audible as it impacted her suit.
Okay. So, Sage,
And then
what was that? What was
I have
that?
a hazards specialty, so I can use that.
Sure, sounds good to me.
Cool.
Was that air, Sage? Did you find
Oh
a room
my
with air?
goodness, that is an excellent roll. That is a 23, which is way higher than what I was setting for the target. So
Cool.
quite simply, it was a breathable atmosphere, oxygen-nitrogen combination, a couple other trace in there. There was quite a bit of carbon dioxide in it as well, however.
Okay.
Get it?
It would probably be in best interest to close that then, so that way it's not all filtering out
Yeah,
into non-pressurized.
I was going to say we should also close the main door going into the galley, just to hold on to anything we can find.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and close that door immediately.
Well, considering that the door to the bridge was open, the door to the bay was open, and both of those are open to space, and the size of the room on the other side, I don't
She's
think you're
gone.
going to be able to contain much of anything.
Great. Okay. Cool. Whoopsies.
Yeah. Oops.
Burke, that was air that we don't have anymore.
Okay.
A strong amount of carbon dioxide, which leads me to believe that people were in there
Was
potentially
anybody?
without oxygen for a long period of time. So we may want to be careful. Bodies.
Okay.
may be able to.
Was anybody in there using that oxygen when you opened the door?
Not that I can see currently, but I can go ahead and investigate. We put a pin in it. Air
Okay.
can't be recovered anyways, so I can check out that bridge, make sure there aren't any hazards in that area as well.
Cool. Okay.
And then I'll go back and check on it myself. If you, Maddox, if you're interested in going to the living quarters with me, I know you're a corp rep. I'm sure you would want to know if any dead bodies are found.
Yes, of course, dead bodies. Specifically, I do really need to find the captain's quarters. More importantly,
Sure.
and any medical personnel would be a fantastic idea. Yes, very helpful. Thank you.
Sure. I mean, to be fair, I suppose someone could have potentially been alive in there. So let's check
Not
out the bridge
anymore.
quickly and then. Fair point. All right. Well, bridge. Let's ignore my transgressions.
Okay, you get in there, you run a check with your device, and let's see how it works. And it did it again. There we go.
And I assume we're at general risk of being sucked out into space while in this room.
There's no pressure, so no, you're not. Plus,
No, okay,
I would
great.
assume you have magnetics in your boots. Otherwise, you guys would be floating everywhere.
Now, any
Excellent.
bodies in that one room when you opened the door would have shot out past you.
Yeah. That would have been bad. Okay, cool. That's a 20.
That is an excellent roll. You pick up some low-grade radiation. Nothing. It's background radiation. I mean, you're in space. Nothing hazardous. Again, no oxygen, no nitrogen, no atmosphere.
Okay.
But everything seems to be in place, and nothing looks out of place. It's like the deck was secured at some point. So there are helmets sitting on the chairs in the right places. No broken equipment that you can see. Investigating.
Theoretically, it would have been pressurized whenever the giant glass portion was broken off, right? So everything.
As you look at that, you can see where it looks like it was pushed outward. The metal struts that held it in place are bent outwards. And it just looks like something took and pushed the whole thing out as a piece.
Okay.
Sage. Specialist Patterson. Any ideas? Anything at all?
Yes. So, in terms of hazards, slight radiation levels, but considering we only have about 2+ hours of oxygen only, I'd say that's actually more of a concern than any radiation you may get. Any issues, complications with health that come from radiation probably wouldn't hit you till a few years from now, in comparison to oxygen
That's
causing
fine.
death.
That's okay. That's good. I don't need to know anymore. We're good. That's perfectly fine. I think that you and I should go check the quarters now.
Excellent. Burke, everything seems to be a little too in place, if you know what I mean. Doesn't seem like
Okay.
it almost, do you see those iron attachments? It almost
the
looks like
struts
it was.
that used to hold that shield in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see how they're bent outwards? I assume if there was some kind of impact, there would be internal injury, debris
dear.
in this department.
Yeah, but like you said, it looks like it's all headed out. Do you think they blew it on purpose?
Potentially, but I'm not even sure how they could have done that with what they
Okay,
had on the ship.
wait. We cannot be theorizing that one of our people caused this amount of damage. We have no base, no grounds, we have
Oh,
nothing.
I'm not saying that any of our personnel would have done it, but what if they were an enemy combatant on board?
Okay, see, I like that theory. We can run with that. I need proof that that's what happened. Do you understand?
I'm sure we can find something to that effect.
Well, once we
Wonderful.
confirm that we can stay alive on this ship for longer than 2 hours, I think we can try to do some sleuthing then. But
And
once
that's
again,
your job.
Can't really do much if we're dying of suffocation.
I'm going to
To
ask
the
the
quarters.
players.
Get to the quarters.
I'm going to ask the players a question. With the things that you have found so far, does any of this raise apprehension to you?
looks perfectly normal. Nothing suspicious whatsoever.
Anyone else?
Doesn't raise nothing to me. I'm in the engine compartment,
Okay.
tearing out battery or getting to the batteries.
All right.
Oh, I need to talk to Tugs again. Hey, Tugs, could you ask Murdoch another question for me? This one's really important too. Does he think, is there a backup bridge on the ship, or do we need to really run everything from the primary bridge?
I'm going to be honest with you, Navigator Burke. This question doesn't sound super important, considering you're very familiar with ships, and I really don't want to interrupt Chief Murdoch. I feel like you should know the answer to that question already, Navigator Burke.
Well, I want to be absolutely certain, so yes, I really do need you to ask him the question.
Yeah, 1 second. Dr. Murdoch, I'm sorry. Navigator Burke has a question for you.
First of all, hang on, Burke. Tugs, did you hotwire the generator yet? Are you still working it?
I was, to be honest with you, I was trying to catch the important stuff that you were just kind of throwing behind you. Some of that was important, Dr. Murdoch.
Okay, well, I got a new plan. I'm almost to the batteries. What we're going to do is we're going to hook the generator into the battery directly so we can charge the batteries. Then we'll let the ship run off the battery power. That way, less chance of blowing all the fucking conduits in this damn thing and knocking out power permanently. So, Burke, what do you need? We're going to get this damn thing hot wired one way or another. What do you want?
Does this ship have a backup battle bridge that we can run it from instead of the
battle bridge? Combat ship. I got a 14 on my knowledge roll there.
No, there is no battle bridge on this. There is a primary bridge, and that is it. The only other thing, you might be able to control some ship functions from the computer room.
We ain't getting that far yet. So yeah, there's just no battle bridge. So why you got my damn music off? Tugs, get me that. I need the T93A connect, not the B, the A connector. Put it on the end of the generator's main power feed and fish that down the hole I'm in so I can try to hook this into the battery and get a direct charge. We're going to charge the battery it'll work. Trust me.
Okay, but I still have to fix the fuel leak real quick. Let me just spray some of this 95 repair kit on.
Go ahead, spray that, but feed me the cable first. We're not going to start the main engine. We'll just at least if we can run a generator into the battery, we can power on some shit around here, and then you can spray that it's going to take me a few minutes to hook this all in once you throw me the cable. There's no gravity. That's going to be fun. Yeah, don't miss when you throw me the cable. You may have to throw it a few times if you're not good with the aim, because no gravity,
I'll just feed it down with a really long stick or something. I don't know. Hang on.
I'm sure I threw something up that way. Matter of fact, yeah, I think I cut a piece of that structural brace. You could just grab my duct tape and tape it on the end of the brace and just feed the brace down the hole to me.
Okay. All right. So I've been trying to catch the stuff that he's just been tossing, but so my hands are full. But when he's passed down the thing, I just drop everything, and I'll grab that structural brace. I'm not going to even bother looking for duct tape. This R95 patch kit is really useful. So I'm just going to spray that onto the end, and I'll pass it down with the wire.
And I understand that stuff has to be applied correctly. Is that correct, Chief Engineer Murdoch?
Yeah, it likes to fuse things. It likes to fuse things if you're not applying it correctly. It fuses pretty much anything that might happen to be yourself to what you've trying to fuse. It's a really good repair kit because it closes the hole. Sometimes with you part of the closing.
So this is, if I'm understanding here correctly, this is attempting to be used to seal a fuel leak. Is that correct?
No, he's talking about gluing that damn patch connector onto the end of the structural support.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to take his wire and stick to the end of the thing and just spray it real quick, pass it down. Hopefully he can get it off and kind of.
I'm gonna give this one a pass and just say it's an easy thing to do. He passes the cable down to you, but I'm gonna put you on hold for just a moment and let everybody do a status check here with the activity that's going on, everything's a little bit slower when you're doing it in 0G. Takes a little bit more time. And as this has gone by, you now have an hour and 45 minutes of air left, except for Tugs. He has 45 minutes.
Oh.
Hang on a second.
This may be a very, very short stream. Just so
Maybe.
everybody knows.
I mean, I don't like how much power, how much air I have left either. So once he passes that down, I'm gonna yell back, just patch the line and then go get the O2 generator out of the storage bay. You can't really set it up in here. Does it have a charging port so we can recharge our suit oxygen off the O2 generator?
Absolutely. If it is powered,
Yeah, bring the suit generator down here.
Now, it's going to take an hour to build up.
We'll bring it down here and start it fired up. So as soon as you get it, Trigger's in deep shit. I can't really help him with that. I'll wait till he's warning me that he's almost out of oxygen. Then maybe I'll share and equalize the pressure. Maybe.
All right.
But once he feeds it down, I want to try to get these batteries charging off this generator so that we can get some feed through the batteries back into the main system because,
okay. So you have a lead to a generator. I'm assuming a generator's been moved in proximity of this area. So, and
because he used that damn patch kit to fuse the line, I had to wedge the structural brace in the hole with me because I can't get it free without cutting the power cable, and that's going to take too much time. So I just wedge it in there pretty good.
Okay. Excellent.
So we can start the generator and feed power to the batteries.
Okay. Going and fetching this, even if you're moving at a good pace, Tugs, it's going to take you a good 20 minutes to go fetch, uncrate, and bring that generator back. And I'm being very generous with your air supply that it's only going to take you 20 minutes to do that. In that time, I'm going to go back to our people on the bridge and see what's going on.
Okay.
All right. Oh, by all means.
Just how big is the hole that we need to have not there?
That's 25 feet by 7 feet, 25 feet wide, 7 feet tall.
Okay. Well, let's see. We have plenty of plate steel, enough that would cover it. So I guess I'm going to get busy welding the plates in place to seal it off.
All right. Welding is not part of your skill set. So I'm going to have you roll for that with a slightly higher complexity level. Let me check and see what Sage and Patterson and Maddox, that was so sexist of me. Let me see what the two chicks are doing. That's less sexist, right? So
Wow.
Girls' night. Girls' night in the dead body room.
Going to, I'm going to
They've got more oxygen to Tugs.
I'm going to tell Specialist Patterson, go ahead and head to the quarters. I will catch up momentarily. I just need to check something real quick, just a small little thing. I'll be right behind you, okay?
Understood. I'll let you know if there's any issues.
Thank you. And I'm going to go over to Mr. Burke. And
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Burke, you see, as I mentioned, the first theory about, one of our people potentially doing
Oh,
this.
no, that couldn't be. No.
No, not at all. So if you find anything in here that is to the contrary of that,
It might accidentally go out the front hole, you mean? I mean, I
could count on you.
I think we understand each other.
I think so too. Do be kind and just check the pockets first and make sure that, if there's any bodies, check the pockets, make sure there's nothing that can be,
Used
found
something
later.
valuable. Right. We wouldn't want to lose
Perfect.
company property.
Right, exactly. You know what? I think that you're up for a promotion soon. Glad we have an
Oh,
understanding.
Yeah,
I'll
thank
see you
ma'am.
later. I'm gonna
right.
catch up to Patterson before she accidentally does find something that could put us in a bit of a bind.
All right.
And I will head that way.
Right. So I will get back to work, or at least trying to. What's your ruling on this, Tam?
You're muted. That's his ruling. His ruling is no sound.
No
If
sound.
he's
That's-
muted, then
you're
it's
in
just whatever
space.
you want. That's a
You're in
wild card.
space. You can't
Oh, okay.
hear me.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to scream and see if you can hear me. We're in space.
Okay. Oh my God, that was so loud.
All right. So I just want to check what everybody's doing. So Patterson, were you headed into the crew quarters?
Yes.
Okay. You make your way into the crew quarters, and there's room in here for 5 crew members. There's a door against the far room that is, when I build a spaceship, it has restroom facilities. That is the bathroom. The door is sealed.
Okay. And so living quarters is basically just 5 beds for the most part?
That's the 5-person crew that made up the crew of this ship.
Okay. Any bodies, any obvious reason for the excess CO2?
There are no bodies in this room.
Okay. And then no leaks?
How are you going to check for leaks? It's not pressurized anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I would just check for any major wear and tear on ship. Check under the beds just in case there's some weird things hiding under beds. Basically, just a general deep inspection of this room.
Please give me an identify check.
Will do.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'll do this one as a general identify because I'm just doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, this one is definitely a general identify because you're just searching.
18.
As you check around the beds and stuff, you find like foot lockers, some personal stuff that may be left around. You also notice there's this odd powdery like substance. It's almost like dust, but a little bit thicker than that. This seems to be in several places around the room. You don't really make any pattern of it, though, because as you're moving stuff around, you're brushing things out of the way and stuff. So if there was any shape or pattern you could have discerned from it, unfortunately, with your searching, you've disturbed it. But you do get the oddest feeling, like just for a moment, like you were being watched.
Cool. Rep Maddox at it again, watching from the corners. Okay, so with my kit that is this substance anything at all that I can verify from what I know was used?
If you want to analyze it, please use your kit to analyze it.
Yes, please.
I'm
Going off the knowledge of
watching.
going off the knowledge of basically what I know was already on the ship, what's been used in the building materials. Would this be a hazard or would that be identify?
No hazard to this one.
Okay.
Well, I got 2 rolls out of that. I'm going to go with the first one. It rolled twice.
Is there 2?
It rolled twice, so I'm
Gotcha.
going with the first one. Not just because it's lower, but because it was the
Still
first
was
one.
good, though. I got to give it to her.
It is not a bad roll. You get some identification out of this. Some of it is dust, which, as we all know, right? What is the primary factor that makes up dust?
Skin
Human skin.
cells.
Cells, yep.
But there's also something that it's not quite sure what it is. It appears to be some form of skin or something because it tries to register, but then it shifts off of it. And it goes back and forth between it being skin and silica and metallic. And it just can't seem to settle on what that is. So there's something in this that just doesn't seem right.
Okay, so not a natural material traceable to anything else that's in this cabin, basically.
Nothing that has been documented previously.
Okay, cool. And I disturbed the pattern.
Absolutely.
Great. Is there any obvious deposit near the restroom?
No, there is not.
Okay. So I assume Maddox would have caught back up with me at this point.
Okay.
And I would just go ahead.
Did you find anything?
Yes. So unfortunately, can't really check for any further leaks. I don't think that'll be a huge problem in this area. There weren't really any. We're not near any particular amounts of fuel, anything that could be flammable. So I don't assume that there'll be any issues, and I don't see any tears in the hole really. But there is a bathroom, I assume, kind of latrine quarters. I am hesitant to open the door just because I don't want to depressurize any further things that are pressurized.
Let me ask you a question, Specialist Patterson. Let's say that you decide not to open those doors, so to check to see what's inside. What would be the problem? Just what actually is the problem if you were to open them? I mean, it's not like we're going to be able to get inside if you don't.
Opening the restroom, you mean?
Exactly.
Well, we've already had we're already low on oxygen as it is, and we still have quite a few patches to go. So if we could somehow preserve any oxygen that is still in that closed off pressurized area.
Presume we'll collect it if necessary?
I
So you don't have a way, right?
No.
So then there's a potential that, there's really not anything that we can do about the air behind that door. However, there might be something behind that door that we need to help us with our little situation here.
Oh, like extra. I mean, if we're looking for potential extra O2 tanks, or I don't.
There could be anything back there. Do you know how many people tend to hide things in bathrooms these days? Oh my goodness. You never know.
Okay. Well, I took thorough notes. I took thorough notes on everything that you had said in terms of tasks. We have to secure the whole breaches, pressurize the living area, prepare an emergency evacuation site, restore power to the ship, bring up the computers, bring engines online, and drive the ship to port. I don't really think anything that could be hidden within a toilet is capable of doing any of those 6 tasks, to be honest.
Specialist Patterson?
Yes, ma'am.
Open the door.
Okay, can I open the door? I don't actually know if I can.
I am going to pause you there for a moment. Mr. Burke, I'm going to say that you were able to go get a panel. You were able to identify an electrical welder, and you are able to take that in. Unfortunately, you're also going to have a generator to power the welder. So you get this plate up in place, and you hold it up there and press the button, and nothing.
Okay. Well, there are 2 generators. One's in use in engineering at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'd go back and get the other one.
All right. The lead is not going to be long enough to stretch from the cargo hold, so you're going to have to take it at least as far as the galley.
Okay. Well,
okay.
That's a good. I'll bring it into the galley.
All right. With all the time that
while
has gone.
This is all going on,
yes.
Murdoch pops over the headset, and you can hear Dust in the Wind playing in his headset, like real loud. Power be on in a minute, I think. If you see a fire, scream. Oh, wait, there's no oxygen. If sparks fly out, scream. And then he leaves it open so Dust in the Wind plays a little bit longer before he cuts it off.
Okay. And then after it cuts off, I say, Tugs, can you ask Murdoch something? I got a question for him. If we see the sparks, are we supposed to do anything like shut it, like find a switch to shut it off?
He says to just patch it up as best you can.
No, I would really like to hear it from him.
No, that's what he just told me. We're on a private line. He said just patch it up as best you can. Don't worry about sparks. I'm sorry, Navigator Burke. I'm really busy trying to get this oxygen thing. I'm really low on oxygen myself, and I really don't have time for this right now.
Okay.
Right.
Just let me know when you get back to me. I actually have a thing about the oxygen I want to do.
Tugs, you're down to 15 minutes of air.
Right.
Murdoch, it's up to you if you want to turn on the power. What's going on?
I'm ready to flip the main power, but I also want to spend a survival point because I'm actually one of the people who helped make this oxygen generator. And I happen to know that no matter what the books say, I can hit it with a hell of a lot more power and charge it a hell of a lot faster.
Okay.
Because I designed it. I over-engineered the shit out of it. I know what it can really do. I'd like to spend a survival point for that so that I can help out Tugs and not let him die.
To make sure we haven't made an error here, my understanding is you were taking a power generator lead down to where you're at and trying to do something in there.
We're running it straight. I plugged it straight to the batteries. I hooked it in so that
This
I asked
is
for a
the
specific
oxygen,
connector.
the oxygen generator you're plugging in, not a power generator.
Right.
You're plugging the oxygen. Okay.
Now that I've got the power, the generator fed into the battery, I'm going to plug the oxygen generator in and just overvolt it a bit because I know I built it. I know what it can take to fast charge for good old Tugs.
So you have a line from the electrical generator down to the batteries. You also have a line from from an O2 generator down to the batteries.
Not to the batteries because I've wired the batteries in. I'm plugging it right into one of the main power consoles there in engineering because now that I've got the batteries wired, I should be able to feed power directly
You're
through.
using a 220 outlet. We're good.
Yeah. But I'm just going to, I know that what they can take, so I'm going to overvolt the oxygen generator to speed up its process.
Okay.
I'll spend a survival point to do it, though.
Okay. I'm good with that. So there will be no roll on that. You're able to do it and you will be able to supercharge this thing and it will operate at half its time. And I will actually double its output, but it does run a risk of failure that's a little bit steeper.
But Tugs is down to like maybe 20 minutes of oxygen, so I
got
kind of
like
need
15 minutes left.
So
I kind of need to oxygen him up.
So an O2 generator, when it's operating at capacity, can normally do a 50 foot by 50 foot space cube, 50 by 50, 50, and pressurize it. So
But we got a hole in the floor. We can't pressurize.
Right. I'm just letting you know. But
I just
you'll
wanna
also
plug
be
his
able
suit
to
into
plug
it
his
to
suit
charge.
into it. Absolutely. All right. So
And then I scream, oxygen's being generated. If you need a refill, come to the engineering section.
Well, let's power on that generator first.
I can do that. What am I going to roll?
Well, actually, you're down next to the batteries. I think Tug's going to have to turn on the generator.
Okay, yeah, Tugs can do it. He's still got my toolkit with him, so he's good.
So, Tugs, would you like to flip that generator on? Power that thing up?
Yeah, I'm going to just look over everything real quick. Just give it a real quick once over, double check his work. As his assistant, this is kind of what I do, is try to fix anything that's wrong that I can see really obviously.
Okay.
So I'll just give it a once over before I flip that switch.
Okay. Give me an identify check.
15.
Everything looks great with the generator to you.
Excellent. I'll flip the switch.
You flip the switch. You see the indicator light come on, showing that power is flowing. Murdoch, you're seeing some power flowing towards the batteries, which is great.
Good. I can flip my hat back. I've done the main part I wanted to do. There we go.
Batteries reach a certain point, and the outlet that you plugged the O2 generator into comes up, and you can see as power's building in the system. And unfortunately, nobody repaired that fuel leak upstairs. So there is an explosion, because as things start moving, fuel and oxygen from storage tanks for the engine begin to mix, and there is going to be a small explosion. Let's see
Just
how
a small one, it's fine. Actually,
let me
he
see
didn't
how
spray it
small.
on there. I told him to before. Let me note my notebook. I told him before he got the oxygen generator to spray the patch. But I'll make a note.
This is why I asked.
I'll make a note. He forgot to. He's not very good at order of operations. He just does the last thing I told him, apparently. I'll make a note of that.
Do we hear this explosion?
You'll
At all,
feel
or
it more than hear it, because it's
feel
going
it?
to
There's no
rattle through
sound.
the hull.
That's right. No sound.
So,
Jesus, fucking space freaks me out sometimes.
Tugs.
Yeah. So
Tug, let me handle Tugs just a moment. Tugs, as you are standing there, looking back towards where Murdoch is, because you know the power's going that way, so you're kind of pretending you watch the little electrical ants as they march their way down the power line. And you suddenly see the world in front of you just lights up. And I'm going to give you a choice here. This explosion is big. There's a lot of flames. There's a good chance it could ignite the O2 generator that you're standing next to. But if you stay to do something for it, there's a good chance it will ignite you. So you can either roll an escape to get away from it and risk a blast, or you can protect the oxygen generator and possibly take some damage yourself. What would you like to do?
I mean, I think I have to go for the oxygen generator.
Okay. Give me a protect roll, please.
Either go for the oxygen generator or take really shallow
I will let you
breaths,
know
like,
this is a big risk, and the target is high. Your target's 25.
breathe shallow.
Okay. Oh man. 24. Just missed it.
So the first thing that's going to happen is you are going to lose 2 survival points. As not only does the flame hit you from the back, and the small pinhole leak that you created by putting this on and attempting to seal with the patch is still leaking a little bit. You're going to take some burn damage from that. It's going to throw you forward. The O2 generator then ignites. And let's see how much damage that does. Fortunately, you'd moved it over a little bit, so it wasn't right next to all the rest of the equipment.
Real fortunate is we have 2 more of them.
Well, you did. Unfortunately, the explosion's large enough, rattles things enough, and there was O2, since you had supercharged the O2 generator, it had that little bit of time to build up some O2 in itself. So it blows apart and blows shrapnel across the room. And one of the other O2 generators is now damaged. So you're down 1. You have 1 which is damaged, but the other one seems to be in good shape. Fortunately, the generator masked itself from any feedback from this, so it shut down. So the power came up for just a moment for everybody else, and then immediately dropped down to nothing. Tugs, you have exactly 5 minutes of air.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, whenever a player loses survival points, the tension level goes up. So let me correct that right now. As
Tugs, can you ask Murdoch what that was? What that flash that was? What happened to the generator?
Yeah, I'm
Jesus
pretty
Christ,
sure
did
that.
any of you do anything right? We had
I'm
power,
pretty sure
now
the
we don't.
explosion knocked the music out too.
Oh, okay.
Guys, I'm trying to talk quiet because I only have 5 minutes of air. But yeah, there was an explosion and one of the oxygen generators is broken.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Murdoch! Can you not do anything right?
It wasn't me. I just got the battery started. What the fuck? Okay, look, we got to restart the generator. Tugs, get some help from people. I've got to seal this damn fuel leak. I'm going to go seal the fuel leak so we don't have another explosion. And then you take the other oxygen generator, get it in any room that's sealed. We need one that's sealed.
That's the galley.
Plug it into the mains. We'll restart the generator after I patch this hole, and we'll start pumping oxygen into that room. It's going to not be fun for a little while. We might want to let him borrow some oxygen, or, I mean, he can breathe real shallow. That's about all I got for help there. But if I get the power back on, we can.
yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Tugs, I'm in the living quarters. This is a pretty safe, non-hazardous area from everything I can tell. So
Tugs
I can
now
meet
has
you
4
halfway.
minutes of air.
I can meet you
Those
halfway. I can go ahead and do we have the tools to siphon air
Okay, I'm just
from
gonna.
one tank to another?
I
it's just
would
it's a
suggest you
coupling.
both just go.
I'm walking
Just
to
meet
the
each other
generator
halfway.
room right now. I'll meet you there.
Excellent.
I'm walking very slowly.
Yeah, and I'm
Go
going
ahead,
to fix the
Patterson.
hole that he didn't patch.
I'll stay behind here.
So to make sure I understand, Tugs, you are going back to where all the equipment is secured in the bay?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
get to the other oxygen generator.
All right. It's going to take you 2 minutes to unpack it. You now have 2 minutes of air.
Okay.
You've got my toolkit, so you should be able to just, grab a coupling and hook up to her oxygen tank and balance the pressures. This is where math comes into play because if we try to balance it a third time, then it's going to get ugly.
Who else coming in? Where are we at? I need to know who's going where.
I'm in the
I'm
living
meeting-
quarters.
Yeah, I'm meeting
It's
Tugs
a heavy
wherever he's
oxygen
at.
generator, Burke. Give him a hand moving it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm meeting Tugs wherever he's at, and I'm gonna go ahead and share oxygen with him through the
Okay.
coupling.
It's going to take you a good 7 minutes to make it to him from where you're at, even with the doors open, trying to make it across this space. So you make it to Tugs as his air runs out. So he is now holding his breath, I assume.
Murdoch is right by him.
No, I'm not. I'm in
No,
another
he's
room.
not.
I'm actually
Murdoch is down in a hole. It is just Tugs with this generator standing in the
can I
bay.
use I don't know. I'll use a survival point
Okay.
because I know that those oxygen canisters, although they run out of air at a certain level, there is a way that you can get an extra 5 minutes of air out of them. If you just like screw in the bottom part a little bit tighter to increase the pressure to the
All right.
rest of the tube.
You're like, it's like a toothpaste tube. You're rolling up the end of it.
Yeah,
Kind of
exactly.
squeeze
Yeah.
out that last little bit of air.
Yeah. There's like
All right.
a little dial at the bottom that you can just kind of increase the pressure just to get a little extra.
I will take
So
that
I'll spend
survival
a survival
point.
point to do that.
Tension level has gone up to 6. You have just enough air that you run into Burke. You run into Patterson as she makes her way into the hold.
Okay.
And yeah, these suits are designed to be able to equalize pressure across there. So this is going to leave both of you with 45 minutes of air.
Oh, let's go to the living quarters and set up the O2 generator.
No, you're space cats.
Do I need to roll to patch the hole?
I know.
I do have a question, Tam.
Yes.
While
Snap.
Patterson was gone, is there any way that I could look around and see if there is where a captain specifically would keep, I don't know, documents?
Give me an identify. Look around. That's
Fantastic.
cool. What were
Do
you
I have to
asking me,
roll to
Murdoch?
patch the?
Which hole?
Do I
in
have to
what-
roll to patch the hole in the fuel line?
You would now have to do something to patch the fuel line because most of it is gone. It went
I
when
mean-
everything else went.
I'm in an engine compartment.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to scavenge a piece off of something else that I don't feel is vital
Give me an
because there's
ide-
a lot of non-vital shit in these things.
Give me an identifier.
Hell,
We'll see if you find anything. Or you can spend a
hell,
survival point to just find it. It's up to you.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'll explain exactly what I do. Then I'm going to spend a survival point. I actually know that there's backup power lines or backup fuel lines for these. They don't just have one. What I'm going to do is shut the valve off on the backup because it's not a full-size line anyway, though. Actually, it is, but it's just not rated. I know how they rigged this shit together. And I'm going to cut that section out after I shut the valves off and use that to splice and fix the hole so that I can use the main power or
Okay.
run the fuel that way.
All right.
Gets rid of our backup fuel lines, but fuck it. We only need one to really go well.
Okay. I'm going to take that
And
survival
I spend a
point.
survival for it.
I'm going to take that survival point. Tension level is now 7.
But that should seal the hole completely because I just undid the couplings between them and just flip-flop.
Okay.
Just keep that valve off,
right.
people. If you turn it back on, we're shooting fuel straight out into the cabin. It's just not pretty. That way we can start the generator and get the power back going.
All right.
And then maybe I can jumpstart the engines once we have enough power in the batteries to do, I don't know how much, whenever the engine says battery power good enough to start the engine, that's when I'll start the engines up.
Okay. That's going
And
to
while
take a
waiting,
little
I'm
bit.
diagnosing.
With the generator pulling on this, that's going to take a little bit, but there is power, and the emergency lighting comes on for a moment, flickers, and goes out. But more than hear it, you can feel the vibration from the ship every once in a while. And it seems familiar to you. If you touch your helmet to the side of the ship, you can hear it. There's an alarm klaxon going off.
Any
Do I know
specific
why
kind
the lights would flicker?
Something's interfering with the emergency power routes. Let me check in with Maddox here. Maddox, you look around, but you do not see anything that looks like, nothing that looks of value. There's no recordings, no papers. It's like all of that was disposed of or had to be somewhere else.
Very well, then. I'm gonna leave the, you know what? No, I'm just gonna open that damn door that I told Patterson to open. The bathroom.
Right?
Bum,
You will-
bum, bum.
There is a manual. The power's out. There's enough running through, but this is obviously not an emergency. Well, wait a minute. You saw it flicker. Maybe there is enough power to the door latch.
Try it.
You press on it, and the latch turns bright red and then goes back to nothing.
All right. There's a crank, you said?
There is a crank.
Fuck. Just gonna start cranking it.
All right. You get it 5 cranks that are pretty easy. It charges up the system. You hit that 5th one, and your suit is hit by a blast of air as you release the pressure that was in the restroom area of the ship.
All right. And is it after that? Is it empty though? There's no bodies or anything.
As you open the door and get it open, you see one of the stalls, the stall on the left-hand side, has been barricaded. Just various things taken from other places that are stacked up, metal sheets.
From the other, like from inside the stall, or
From
from my
taken
perspective?
from other places. It looks like they ripped off part of the right-hand stall to build a barricade.
I want to go over to that and kind of investigate. If I can tap on something and then see if I can feel any vibrations, I will do that.
As you tap on this, it seems fairly solid, but you notice that the door moves a little bit.
Burke,
Yes,
are you ever so busy right now?
kind of.
As he's holding a
But-
plate and a welder
No.
waiting for power.
I was hoping he was moving the oxygen generator for Tugs, because that takes Tugs way too long to do it by
Well,
himself.
we're kind
Yes.
of interleaving
Yeah.
time a little bit, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'd assume arguably by this point Patterson and Tugs would be in the living quarter area.
Oh,
Okay.
if you guys would be okay.
And Burke, you can
Alright,
plug it in,
that's
so
fine.
we're good.
Just okay, well, keep doing what you're doing, but be aware I might need your assistance in the living quarters momentarily. I'll get back to you though.
Okay.
Patterson, do you have that special little thing that you can do that little special thing you do and see if you can figure out what's behind here?
Yes, Tugs and I both have approximately 40 minutes of air left. I think closer to
Don't
30
waste
at this
time,
point.
dear.
Yeah, I would like to not waste time on making sure we both have enough oxygen to survive. Otherwise, whatever hazards beyond that door doesn't matter.
Actually, considering that there might have just been movement, I'd say it might matter a little. Teensy wit.
Maddox, do me a favor. Roll an identify check. As you're looking around, you spin around and notice there's a mirror on the wall, and you think you see something in it. But as you look again, whatever it is, there's nothing there. The only things you can see are shadows cast from the light in your suit, and a shadow of you from the emergency lighting as it flickers that shows out in front of you. Nothing else.
How does the O2 generator work? Do we have this one set up properly?
It's going to be PFM. That's a scientific term. It's pure fucking magic. So
Okay.
we're just going to assume it works.
Fantastic. So we don't need the ship's power supply to be running to it in order to...
It's got to be plugged in, but Burke was going to plug it into the mains. So he found an outlet, plugged it in.
Yeah, the lighting don't work, but I've got the generator feeding the battery, so some parts of the ship have power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we can find a way to plug it into the panels in the living quarter and make sure the O2 generator's working.
Yep. So you're doing it in the room with the beds, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the plan, because that felt the most secure area in case there were any further mishaps with electricity.
And since air came out of it when she opened the door, it's sealed.
It should be
Yeah.
airtight. Yep. All right. I am going to put us on break here, but I'm going to give a status where we're at first. We're at tension level 7. The scale of tension level in Dead of Night goes from 0 to 10. 10 being Cthulhu has arisen and is walking the streets. We are at 7. Going down the goals list, secure any holes, breaches, and pressurize a living area. We're 0 for 0 on that one. Prepare an emergency evac site. We're 0 for 0 on that one. Restore power to the ship. Hey, we've got some power to the ship, so we're about 1 out of 5 on that one. Bring up the computer system, bring the engines online, and get home. At this point, you guys, everybody's down to an hour or less of air, and we will take a break and be back in 10 minutes.
Whoa, ho, ho! Who goes there? You shouldn't be running in front of horses like that.
I didn't know you were there.
I'm the only thing out here.
No, you're not.
It was 10 days ago that the darkness came. The stars went out, the moon vanished, the sun set and never rose. In the first days, 30 of us gathered in a convenience store. Food, flashlights, phone chargers, candles. Food ran out first. We discovered that we can be our own worst enemies. And then, there were 20 of us. Days ago, they came. They crawled out from under the beds of our subconscious and flung open the closet doors. Things that go bump in the night. Light seems to hold them off, if only till a candle flickers or a battery dies. But in that light, there's hope. Today, the remaining 4 of us gathered in the 6th floor museum in downtown Dallas. I guess you could say we're looking for a magic bullet. One last shot. We're low on food, low on hope, and 10 candles between us and the darkness.
This is a story. This is Richmond. It's related to our story, but it doesn't start here. The story starts on a train. I mean, why not a train? You don't have to drive and you can drink. You can drink a lot. It's a nice way to get from A to B without a care in the world. Oh yeah, did I mention? We're all dead. And you know all that afterlife crap they give you? Well, turns out things are a little different than that. He continues to turn, and the light gets brighter and brighter, and then suddenly you hear this noise, and then this bubbling and sucking of air. And you continue to hear this bubbling noise. But Eleanor, what you see is as the piece of skull is pulled away, you see this spirit of this person in this blue-bathed light come out with this agonized look on its face and terror as it looks down and looks directly at you, and it's screaming, Eleanor. You can see its mouth. And then the doctor leans forward, and you see as he leans in and goes, and you see as the spirit is pulled slowly downwards and portions of it are pulled away and inhaled into the doctor.
No, don't do that. Stop.
You feel someone touch your arm gently.
My eyes will flutter open a little bit.
You see a face staring back down at you. A man who put you through hell for 3 days. Gray is sitting at the bed. Hey, sweetie. Well, I guess we didn't have to be so cautious with the merchandise after all. We could have had much more fun on the way down here.
I scream. I can't deal with it anymore. I scream.
I believe letting that woman leave with that man is one of the greatest sins any of us could ever commit.
Before there was light, there was darkness. Before there was order, there was chaos. An endless war between the gods and their enemies. A war the gods could not win. Till a champion arose, wielding a weapon of otherworldly power. The war was won, the enemy banished, but the weapon was shattered, its fragments scattered across the new-formed world. Now, thousands of years later, many seek the fragments of that long-lost weapon. Among them, our 5 brave heroes. The druid, troubled by dreams and his own temper. The blacksmith turned warrior in search of revenge. The raider, determined to protect her friends and her growing family. The traveller from a distant land, guardian of those down on their luck. And the girl willing to sell her soul for a taste of adventure. Their hunt will take them to distant and dangerous lands, far beyond the borders of Ishval.
The following stream contains mature language and themes. Subjects that may be disturbing to some individuals will arise. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ashes, ashes, we are dead.
Nobody said that at the beginning. All right, welcome back. Crew's low on air. They do have some power making its way through the ship, but this is a big ship. So where is all that power being siphoned off to, and how much is making it into the bridge area where they want it? They have plugged in an O2 generator. It seems to be powering up. It's going to take a little while to be able to produce air and then pressurize this area. It's going to take even longer because at this point, there are 2 doors open that are open to space.
Well, I will close the bridge door while I'm working in there, so that everybody else can start pressurizing the ship.
Okay. So you had 1 panel with you because I'm going to say you can only carry 1 panel at a time.
Well,
you are now able to plug in the welder. Go ahead.
Well, I'd looked to see, how big the hole was, and then, looked at the panels, seeing that they're 8 by 4 by 8 panels, and, it's 25 by 7.
Mm-hmm.
So, I figured out how many panels I need. And since it's in 0G, before Murdoch turns the gravity system on again, I can shift maybe two or 3 panels at a time, maybe.
Okay. Well, if you're going to dedicate time to doing that, that's fine. But up to this point, you only brought 1. Okay. So that's going to take you a little bit of time, and everybody is low on air. So I'm going to say that to move all those panels is probably going to take you a good 40 minutes.
Okay.
But obviously the doors cannot be closed while you're doing that because you've got to be able to get them in there. You do not have an airlock.
Right. Now, is there enough power that the doors can be not automatically closed, but I don't have to crank it for 3 hours to
nobody's really given it a try yet.
That's actually my first thing I'm going to be doing a diagnostic or tracing down the power lines. I want to make sure power's to the doors so they can be opened and closed without cranking.
Mm-hmm.
Then life support, and then bridge power. That's my 3 priorities.
You can trace
when I'm low on oxygen, I'm going to have to go plug in. But until then,
well,
doors,
you can trace out
bridge.
You can trace out everything where you're at, but then a lot of the controls for these things would go through the main computer. So there may be a backup. There may be a backup system that would allow you to do something, but at this point, you're not going to have automatic control over the doors because there's no computer to operate the mechanics for it. You'd have to make some kind of a bypass to do that.
Well, fuck it. Is there power to the computer?
Is there anything going well for us right now?
No.
Have we done anything good?
Hey, you guys have lasted
Power to
this
part
long,
of the ship.
so
Yeah.
you still got air.
Is there power to the computer? Can I power the computer on?
You are nowhere near the computer room at the moment. You would have to exit where you're at and enter the computer room to check that, or send somebody else to do it.
I'm going to go check that. Well, I'm going to check that. We've got an AI, so I'm going to check to see if I could power the computer on. I don't want to do that until I get the AI hooked up because I don't want the computer to yell intruder alert and locking me out of everything the moment I turn it fucking on. So I want to make sure I could turn power on to it.
Would I do that?
Yes. And if it appears I can feed power to it, I want to get the AI to put it in line first so that it can do its thing.
Okay. So as you come upstairs, you make your way to the area containing the computer room, which is right here where I'm pinging. Unfortunately, the doors will not open using the press plate, so you will either have to hand crank and do it, or you will have to spend power, which is going to take some time and effort, and hopefully nothing will go wrong as you roll. Let's do it under an identify to find the right things.
Use my
and make
diagnostic toolkit to bypass everything and power it right on. Screw it.
Okay.
Get the door open.
All right. Your target is 20.
Oh.
And I missed it by 1.
I didn't know you.
That's how this keeps going.
Do me a favor. Don't roll till I tell you to roll, because otherwise I'm not looking up there, and I don't want to say what the target is or determine it after you roll, because that's not fair.
I said it right as you rolled it. Right as you said it, I rolled it. 19.
That is a 19. You attempt to plug into this, but you shoot sparks and the generator powers off. Something kicked a breaker in it and it just shut down.
Fuck this. I'm tired of this game. I'm starting the engine. What? No, because I can't do that without the computer on.
Murdoch, what is going on?
I'm trying to check the damn computer and the damn... If I had my music, I wouldn't have made this damn mistake.
Do you even have the passcodes for the computer, darling?
I don't need them. I was going to use the AI and fucking hack the computer. We ain't got time. We need to get power to the ship.
Okay.
We need to get the doors working.
I would
We need
really
oxygen.
appreciate it if you would just worry about your specialty and go get the goddamn ship powered. I will handle the computer room.
Okay, Corp Rep, let me explain something to you. I can't start the engine
Paycheck
until the
doesn't
computer's
happen
on.
unless I sign off on it.
Engines don't start and make real power until the computer's on. And until I get real power, we don't have doors, we don't have life support, we don't have bridge, we have nothing. So we need to get this fucking computer online so we can get the fucking engines on and generate power and not use these cheap-ass generators that were supplied to us to try to power everything. Because they don't have the same output as these big fucking monster engines we've got on this ship.
Okay, so why don't you go work on the generator and I will go and work on the computer. And then once you have the generator going again, then I'll get into the computer room.
Start cranking the door when you get down here because the door is shut and you got to crank.
Patterson and McCoy, you are at 25 minutes of O2 left. Everyone else, you are at 45 minutes of O2 left.
So I have a question. So we both have, me and Sage both have 45 minutes left.
Not now.
25.
We're down now to 25.
We're
You're
both
25.
down to 25.
Yep.
Okay, so it kind of evened out. Okay, so while they're all talking and stuff, I using the research that I had done prior to coming out here, I'm going to have Sage close the door to the living quarters, and I'm going to try to make a makeshift airlock using my research specialization.
Okay.
So like sometime in my research, I would have researched like how an airlock works, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to use the 4x4 plate steels.
Okay.
And it's just going to be enough so that if you lift the door to the living quarters, it's going to be enough where you can like go in there.
Okay, so you're building it here.
That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm gonna
building
be
it-
trying to build like really fast, just like throwing some plate steel together, welding it, and like finding some hinges. I don't know. That's what
Okay.
I'm trying to do.
I think we could use the living quarters as an airlock itself if we set up the O2 machine in the restroom instead, but I would need to check the restroom and make sure there aren't creepy crawlies like Maddox assumed there would be. So I don't think we would necessarily need to makeshift anything. We just need to set up O2 in a different location now and push it into the room and then use the living quarters as like our pressurization zone.
Well, do we know if the bathroom is pressurized yet?
No, it's not. We need to go in there, close the door, and also investigate to see if there's any problems inside of it.
Okay, well, we don't have a lot of time. Do you think it would be faster to go into the bathroom? We only have 25 minutes left, so we have to do this quickly.
How about we do both? You know what? Actually, you can throw together something and I'll check that too, and whichever one gets done first will be our winner.
Okay, if the bathroom is pressurized, drag the O2 canister in here to immediately start leaking out oxygen and pressure, and close the door to the living quarters so that we have kind of an airlock going on. And I'll be outside of the living quarters, and I'll try to throw something together real quick.
Okay, great.
The O2 generator.
So yeah, I'll be running back and forth between, like, I'll be grabbing the 4x4 plate steel and it's going to be like a crawl airlock. Like, I'm not making a big thing because I feel like the smaller, the faster I can build it.
Right now, the O2 generator is generating nothing because there's no power.
Ooh.
You will require a generator to power the welder in order to make the attachments you want.
I'm going to restart it.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as I get a chance to, I'd like to head to the computer room.
Oh, we don't have even just basic power anymore?
No, the generator got blown when I tried to open the door. So now I've got to go back to the generator and restart the fucking generator, which is what I'm doing. But
he shorted something.
Great. Well, while that's
show.
happening, okay, so the O2 isn't even making anything yet?
Nope. Well, it was, but it's not produced enough to do anything because it didn't run long enough to ramp up.
I'll check the bathroom. Priority number 1.
All right. Let me just pause, and I'm going to run around the circuit here of what people are doing. Maddox, you get to the door. You will have to hand crank open the door. It will take you 20 minutes to do so, just like it did all the others. And Patterson, you've made your way into the bathroom, and you see the blocked off area. If you were going to attempt to unblockade that so you can get in, that's going to take you about 10 minutes to do that. And none of this is considered risky at this point, so don't worry about that. Well, not risky in the point you're running out of oxygen, but this, like I said, this may be a very interesting end to this stream, and I didn't mean to kill everybody by hypoxia.
We all die.
But, you know.
We suffocate.
McCoy, you have no power available to you, but you know that there is another generator out into the cargo bay. Burke, same for you, since you were trying to work on something that required welding and power. And Murdoch, you are headed back over to power up the other generator. It is going to take you a few minutes to reset everything and do that. So, say about 10 minutes to do that.
Cheap-ass fucking generators the corporate sent to us.
Top of the line, you mean? Grade A. Spared no expense.
Yeah, I'm an engineer. I know better.
So while 3 of you are tied up, and a T-Rex comes in and eats your head off. While 3 of you are tied up with tasks that are going to take 10 minutes or more, I'm going to go back to McCoy and Burke and figure out what they're doing, because they're the ones that are questionable at the moment. What's up?
All right. Well, I've moved as many of the panels as I can. That's the thing that's taken some time. Then I close the door behind me so that as they're repressing the rest of the galley and living space, I can still work on the open hole. You're muted.
You've closed off the bridge, sealed the door, and you are waiting on power to be restored so that you can weld these plates in, because you're going to have to wait for ship power because you can't run something through the door.
I thought I had brought the generator with me previously. Or did we?
Yeah,
we
he had grabbed
Okay.
so Murdoch has one of the generators and Burke has the other generator,
Right.
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Burke drug it into the galley.
Okay.
He has a generator in the galley, and then the other one's in the space bay.
Okay. If he wants to use the generator with the door closed to the bridge, he's going to have to move the generator into the bridge.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So you are sealed off. You've got the welder and you have started working. It is going to take you, because you are not super skilled at this, I'm going to have you do a protect roll for it. And that will help us determine how long it is going to take you. I have a target in mind that if you reach that, it will take you an hour.
20.
If you get above
I
it,
rolled,
it'll reduce it.
I rolled 20.
It's going to take you over an hour
Okay.
to do
And I
this.
have how much oxygen left in my...
45 minutes.
Short breaths.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we get an airlock established or something.
Well,
Okay.
I'll work on it for as long as I can until I get down to 10 minutes or something, and then try to go into the airlock.
There's a question in the chat, so I'm going to answer this. They were dropped off at the ship by the Marines. They do not have a ship of their own. One of the tasks they were supposed to do was set up an emergency evac site, which they have not done. Back to this now.
Don't need an emergency evac. You just step out one of the giant fucking holes in the ship and drift over to their ship.
Well, assuming the ship's back in time to rescue
That's
you.
the big problem.
See, they're headed away at this point, and they're still a few hours from being out of range, but not that many.
We only had 3 hours oxygen, and they said 14. We should have at least 11 hours.
They
before
said
they're out of
14
range.
and they were going to kick it, but if they've traveled 3 hours away, it'll take them 3 hours to get back.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Anyway,
I'm fine.
So
space and math, they don't matter.
theoretically, so we're setting up airlocks one way or another.
I'm going to say that
Once-
Murdoch has us charged up, so yes, you can start working on airlocks, okay?
Great. So once that's done, we can safely be in that living quarter and have oxygen.
That
Or
sounds
do
good.
we still need heat?
You'll still need heat. But that sounds good. But there's one thing. You've, at this point, the power's come back on. It's been clicked over, which means your 10 minutes has expired, and you've removed the barricade, and you get your first view inside the stall.
Okay.
And as you look inside the stall, you see a person huddled up in the back, holding a cat, because
Get
you've
out.
got to have a cat on a spaceship. Holding a cat. Their eyes, well, they've been preserved because they've been in a low oxygen environment. It's been very cold. So the things that you note are the glazed look in their eyes and the hypodermic needle that's stuck in their arm.
What?
The cat in their
Yeah,
arm, the
hypodermic-
cat in their arms, its head's laid awkwardly to the side and its tongue is hanging out before it was frozen.
Oh.
Cool.
Meth head spacers. Everybody loves them.
Great. Glazed look. Well preserved. Awesome.
As you look a little bit closer, you see the name tag. Some of it's obscured, but you can easily read Captain.
Ooh. Okay. Dust? Is there dust near him?
If you would like to climb into this area and investigate, you are welcome to do so.
Grr. Okay.
I will
yeah,
tell
sure.
you that is a risky thing to do.
That's
and
fine.
I will need an identify check from you. Your target is 20.
Ooh.
And that is excellent. You climb in and you do see some kind of a dust buildup. But you also notice in the light from your helmet that is reflecting off the mirrored walls in this place, you see multiple shadows of yourself. But what's surprising is one of the shadows moves. What is your escape?
Okay.
What is your escape?
Oh.
Because I'm assuming you are going to run like hell from this thing, from your shadow. See, my shadows are a little
no,
more
I'm
evil.
just gonna do some Peter Pan, tack it back to my foot. Everything's fine. Yeah, if I see something weird, I'd probably want to leave. So I'll go ahead and escape.
What is your escape number?
Oh, we'll find out. You want my general number? You want me to roll?
What? No, I need you to tell me your number. The creature gets to roll. You always alternate rolls. So.
Ooh. Okay, my escape is 8.
8? Okay. So that gives a target of 18.
Cool.
And before adding the modifiers, I rolled an 18. So
Okay.
as you attempt to charge out of this thing, you feel as something wraps itself around your waist, and the shadow. Normally, shadows don't have depth, but this one does. And you see these huge needle-like teeth that come and clap onto your helmet and crack it. And you are going to lose 2 survival points as your helmet urges air.
Cool. Okay. McCoy. Tugs. Literally anyone, actually. Hello.
What is it?
Don't come to the
Madison?
bathroom. There's some kind of unidentified life form. I would actually recommend close the doors. It's okay.
Oh, is
I
that
can
the
see-
what I was telling you to
I just want to
check
say
before?
that this is coming out from Patterson like, hey, you might want to close the doors. But in this situation,
'Cause-
considering these teeth have just gone through your helmet, I think it's more like, shut the goddamn door.
No, she was awful calm, and I'm like, wait, what? Fuck, what? You said something? What?
So what I asked you
I'll
to
be
check
there in a second.
earlier,
I'm grabbing
that's
a
what's
panel.
happening now?
Back that shit up. Could you explain that again, please, Patterson? Because I thought I just heard on your headset a monster or some shit. That
Correct. Yes. Close the doors. There's some kind of unidentified life form. I investigated the bathroom as Maddie suggested. Please do everything to protect yourselves.
the doors don't work. Just
Okay, we'll manually close them. As I'm
Kirk,
trying to
do you
wrestle
mind
this thing off
handling
of
that,
me.
dear?
Everyone's being very calm about the fact that I'm being attacked.
Including you.
You sound so chill about it.
and I'm so
helmet's
busy going
cracked and
between power,
I feel like
engine
I'm
room,
losing
power,
my
engine
mind.
room.
Everyone says I'm being calm. I'm panicking. Close the doors.
I'm too
There's
busy
an
trying to make
unidentified life
power
form
work.
on me.
Since you are in the action scene at the moment, Patterson, and this creature is on you and crunching down on you, what would you like to do? You have choices. You can attempt to escape. You can attack. You can try to talk to it and persuade it. I mean, what would you like to do? You can also spend time trying to identify it, if you want to.
Everyone's telling me I'm not scared enough for the situation, but I feel like I'm losing my mind. I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to wrestle to get it off. I guess is that some. Let me check my sheet. Protect, I guess. I'm just trying to get it off of my body.
If you're trying to defend yourself, that's a protect. If you are trying to fight it, punch it, hit it, anything else, that's an assault.
Okay.
Now, protect would be trying to defend yourself. Escape would be trying to get away. So it's your choice, whatever you want to do.
My goal right now is just to get it off.
Okay.
So is that a...
Let's do that as an assault then.
Okay.
And your target is 13. You rolled a 16. All right. So you lash out at this thing, and as odd as it seems being a shadow, you make contact with something. And the device you had in your hand has a sharp edge on it. So you actually cause it to jump back, which makes it remove its teeth from your helmet, which helps for the moment, but it also means that air is evacuating a little bit faster from your broken helmet. And are you going to attempt to escape or continue fighting? so that I know how the creature will react.
So, wait, hold. I'm sorry. I haven't processed anything that's happened. So it further cracked the helmet.
Your helmet has holes in it. It is breaching air.
Right. Okay. And I haven't been able to get it off successfully?
You've pushed it off of you. That's why the teeth are out and the air's evacuating.
Okay. And there's a... Yes.
So I need to know what you're going to do.
I'm escaping some... Well... If I try to escape, it'll just chase me and then I'll get to everyone else. I wanted everyone to close the door so that way I was the only one with it.
So the door to the living quarters should be closed already. Like you closed it, right?
Yeah, but not to the room that you're in.
Right. So the bathroom door is open, but the living quarters door should be closed.
You're still susceptible though.
Yeah.
And this is also one of the few places where we've established an O2 generator.
Right. And if anyone comes to rescue you, we're going to have to open that outer door, which goes all the oxygen back out.
Right.
Oh, I don't want anyone next. I specifically
Why is my
requested,
music player dead? I could play Don't Fear the Reaper right now.
I specifically didn't want anyone to come help me. I wanted doors to be closed. So ideally, Tugs would have listened to that. If Tugs hasn't closed...
The door is closed already. So are you still in the bathroom?
I'm still in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would not be able to open the door to the living quarters, get to the bathroom, close that door, and then get out by the time... Because I'm still going back and forth between the supply crates to get panels for the airlock that I'm making.
Okay. I mean, theoretically, I'm just fucked then. Because I don't really want anyone to help me because I have no idea what this is. And I don't know. I mean, I think... I guess I'll just keep fighting it because if I escape, there's not really anywhere that I can go that wouldn't risk everyone else.
Okay.
So I'll just keep attacking it, I guess, or finding a way to make it.
Corp Rep, was horrible alien monster on the manifest, or is that a stowaway? What's the corporate fine for that?
Above your pay grade.
Good to know. Good to know. Is it also above my pay grade if I just hit this button here and make the ship blow up? Just curious.
You definitely won't collect your paycheck. Neither will your family or your family's family or anybody else connected to you whatsoever.
When you're talking alien shit, I think I'd rather not let that get anywhere.
Murdoch, just do your job. Do your damn job. I'll handle
trying.
the alien if there's an alien. There's not an alien. She's probably just has some kind of cryo sickness. It's fine.
I feel there's a necessary bit of information that we weren't told that we could have used. But
based on the contracts I read for Dr. Murdoch, if he were to die under suspicious circumstances, his family would receive a large payout. So it's in your best interest.
A ship exploding's not really covered in that. That's not. No.
From what I read, ship exploding was definitely covered. I would have noticed if it wasn't. I checked very thoroughly.
Hold just a moment. Go ahead and roll me an assault since you're attacking, and you guys can go ahead and continue. This is all happening simultaneously.
Death and dismemberment clause? I'm pretty sure a ship doesn't explode and I'm not dismembered.
We're arguing about his life insurance, and she's like getting murdered.
So let's just make this very clear. Murdoch, do your damn job. That's what you're paid to do. Burke, how are you doing, honey? You doing good? Doing great.
How about this, Rep? You tell us what's going on, or I do push the fucking button because I'm pretty sure you have more desire to live than I do.
I have no fucking clue what's going on.
I'm dead. I'm dying. Y'all are talking about pay grade and making complaints that I'm too calm, and y'all are literally doing office banter at the water cooler right now.
This is my first assignment. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about right now.
You hit
if
the
everyone
thing,
just does their job.
you hit the creature again, and it kind of shrinks away from you a little bit. You have it moving away from you, but your air is getting rather low, Patterson. I would say at this point, you probably have about 10 minutes, and the indicator on your wrist is beginning to flash and let you know 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
I don't know what to do. There's nowhere that I can go. I mean, is there even a way for me to go through? I mean, so Tugs is working on a makeshift airlock as an exit that I can go through without unpressurizing
you're
the
in
cabin.
you're in the stall in the bathroom. You could exit the
Correct.
stall. You could exit the bathroom, but the door's still open, and then you'd be in the living quarters with Tugs.
Tugs is
not in
outside of the living quarters,
Living
and that
quarters
door's
is shut.
closed.
Tugs is
Do me,
outside.
do me a favor, update your icons
Oh,
on the
I'm
map,
sorry.
because I look
Yeah.
at that to see where you guys are.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had thought he
I'm,
was
like,
in
right
there and
outside
available
right
to help
here.
me.
All right.
But he's not. So I'm just trapped in here, which is ideally what I requested because I don't want anyone else to get hurt. I don't know if his airlock is done. The best I can do, I guess, at this point, if I've fended it off to the best of my ability, is run out of the bathroom and try to crank the door close in enough time to where the thing doesn't get me.
I will let you roll an escape.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to lower the target for it a little bit because you've had the thing on the run, but this may embolden it. Let's see how you do. I'm sorry. As you attempt to get out of this, you make it almost out, and you suddenly feel something on the back of your helmet jerk backwards on you. That is going to be another survival point.
Okay.
How are you doing on survival points? Are you like at 2?
I've got 2.
2. Okay.
One of my bad habits is that I overthink everything, which I have been doing a lot of. So I don't know if you want to warn me.
You gotta overthink those teeth on your helmet. Overthink the shit out of that.
Yeah.
As the air continues,
Oh my god!
as the air continues to flow out of your helmet, and you know it's getting thin, you're having to struggle to breathe, and you look around, you realize that some of the stuff you had moved, you hadn't noticed, but there are these leathery shapes in there that they almost look like eggs.
In the bathroom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. I'm dying.
So
I'm dying.
how's my airlock looking?
I assume you're just working on it. You're still working on it. Yeah.
Well, I've been working on it this whole time, so I just want to know like how close.
Give me a protect roll. Let's see how it's going. And Burke, give me a protect roll for your work, assuming you're still working on that and not trying to get out of the bridge to help anybody. Nobody's helping.
I'm in the computer. I was at the computer.
You've opened the door to the computer room by now, and I've lit it up so you can take a look in there.
Hold on. Where's it at? I can't see.
It's right in front of you. So
ping it again.
I'm trying to.
Aha! Got it. Okay, I see. Okay, so yeah, I'm going in there. And I would like to check around in there and see if I can find anything. Maybe even the equivalent of the black box. It's captain's logs. Haha, that's it.
There is a computer system in front of you. It has no power to it at the moment. There is auxiliary lighting on, so whatever Murdoch did has turned on some power. You can feel that vibration of the klaxon once again. The O2 generator is trying to pressurize the room, but that's going to take a little while. But it is running, and it is pushing air into the room, and the room is sealed at the moment.
Good. Can I? You said there's no. Is there power to the computers? Can I turn it on?
Do an identify roll. You're not really up on the computer systems in these things. And let's see if you find the power button.
Good luck asking Murdoch to do it because you fucking bit his head off when he was trying to do it. So fuck it. He just let you figure it out.
Patterson, your air is getting low. What would you like to do? This creature has hold of the back. Your air is low. You've noticed these eggs.
So real quick, Tim. So I got a 25 on my airlock roll.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are making very good progress on that airlock.
It's not done.
It's probably going to take you about another 5 minutes. Maddox, you look around and you see a lot of buttons. You see 3 of them that could possibly be a power button. You do not know what they are, but you're guessing one of them may be a power button.
I'm going to press one of them and hope for the best.
Roll me a persuade, and I'll be back to you in a moment. I really want to handle the action with Patterson over here. If you haven't
talk very sweet to the buttons. Talk very nicely
And
to
so,
it. And
so
hopefully
real
it
quick,
starts.
so you said 5 minutes left. So I'm assuming there's like a couple panels I have to install. So
Mhm.
what I would like to do is I would like to spend a survival point to find a panel that got like bent in a curved way
Okay.
in shipment,
Scrap
so that it
or
fits
something. Yeah.
perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You know what? I'll do you one. I'll do you one better. As you're looking in here and you're working in this galley, you realize there are cabinets and refrigeration systems, and you rip one of the doors off the refrigeration units. It has a seal. It's metal, and it's about perfect size. So
okay, perfect.
I will take that survival
So
point.
I'll give you a survival point. I just want to
Okay.
cut the time down to like a minute.
Absolutely, you are able to complete that.
Great.
Patterson, I'm going to keep coming back to you. You're going to have to make a decision and do something. You're not
Try
just going to
Patterson.
die, Patterson.
I'm gonna
You're not
save
just
you.
going to die.
I mean, so I've got an alien on me of some form.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a restroom.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, the airlock is close to being created, but hasn't been made yet. I have breaches in my helmet.
Mm-hmm. The air is
Cabin hasn't been
whistling as it
pressurized yet, and
leaves.
even after the cabin does pressurize, I would not be able to take off my helmet or suit to get that O2 because we don't have systems online to provide heat life support.
If it balanced out with air and pressurized the room, well, you'd have heat from your suit, but you'd probably get air in through the holes in your helmet. It wouldn't be leaking
Okay.
out anymore.
Okay, well, I mean, my goal is just survival as best as I can,
Okay.
I guess. It's got me again, so
It's fight or
the
flight.
best the best that I can think to do is fight again to get it off of me. Otherwise, it'll just stay on me and
Give me an
punch more
assault.
holes.
Give me an assault. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Oh, wow. You know, I rolled so low, I looked at it and said, there is no possible way she is going to roll lower than what I rolled.
This is like my first bad roll of the game, to be honest. Everything
It
else
is.
has been high.
She rolled a 10, okay? I've got an 11. That is going to cost you, with this creature, I'm not going to do that. It's going to cost you 1 survival point as your suit is ripped open. And you feel as this thing, for the first time, you feel the cold, icy touch of it as it permeates your suit. And by permeate, I don't mean you just feel it on your back. You feel it begin to surround you inside your
Look at
suit.
me. What if it's a good boy and he's enveloping me in his own little oxygen field and I'll be safe? It's like a little exoskeleton. And then I got fangs too. That'd be kind of fun. I'm Venom. I'm Venom now. That's what's happening.
All right, I'm going to pause your imminent death for a moment and come
Thank
back
you.
over here. I know Maddox was going to push a button.
Got a
I know
23.
I know what she rolled. I'm also going to check with the other 3 here and see if they're doing anything as Maddox's finger depresses, not before, but as she depresses the button. What is going on?
I've sent you a message about what I plan to do.
Oh, just tell me.
you
I'm
might
not
wanna
going to
that.
read the message.
Okay, I'm spending a survival point because I want to pull something out of my pocket. It's an
Okay.
electronic remote tied to my multi-tool.
Okay.
I'm wiring that into the engine command circuit
Mhm.
to override any and all safety, or to suppress any safety commands and
Okay.
any shutdown command that does not come from my multi-tool.
Okay.
And if I don't push the button every 4 hours on the multi-tool, the engine goes into overload.
Okay.
I am making my own dead man switch on the whole fucking ship.
Okay. All right.
I'll spend a survival point, which I think puts us to tension 10, but fuck it.
All right. Actually, it's not because you did. I'm not going to count it for that because it's not a loss at this point. But, but, Maddox, You push the button, and you hear a melodic voice as the AI comes online. Core System 111 online. Significant ship damage detected. Unknown. 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 And then it goes into this cycle of unknown, no, 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 no. And it stops and says 27 unknown life forms on board.
Captain's log.
Identify.
Corporate Representative Michelle Maddox, 13450.
Authorization not recognized.
Override. What was the captain's name again? I don't remember.
Make one up. I'm good with it.
Okay.
Captain Kirk, James Tiberius. His parents had a sense of humor.
James Tiberius.
And now Toss is blocked us. Give me a persuade check, please.
Okay.
Anybody else? What actions are you doing? Burke, I assume you're still welding on that, so give me another protect roll.
And it'll take me a little while to dead man switch the engine like that, so
yep.
You can count me out for a bit.
All right. McCoy, your airlock is done.
Airlock is done. Okay. So from what I have pictured right now, the O2 generator is in like the O2 is being generated via like a wire or a tube.
Think of it as a box.
Or is the actual generator in the living quarters?
It is a box that is 5 foot square that is in the living quarters, and it will produce air out of vents built into it.
Okay. I don't know what to do then. Specialist Patterson, are you okay? My airlock's done.
Specialist Patterson. Let's see, where did we leave off last? The last thing was you attempted to assault this and failed miserably. It is inside. It is
correct.
It is inside the suit with you. You can attempt to fight, or you can attempt to flee. What would you like to do?
Would my flee also involve it no longer being on me, or would I be running around with it still attached to me?
It depends on whether you succeed or not. And it also depends on what you have to do to flee, since it is in your suit with you.
Yeah, I mean, even if I were to escape it and be outside, I have no oxygen, and there's no other O2 generator that we have up and running, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We have two, right? Am I wrong?
Right.
The other one's in.
I thought the other one exploded.
They've got the other one. There's one that's damaged.
One's,
the one you were
damaged.
using exploded. One's in there in the living quarters. The other one hasn't been hooked up to anything.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I can try to escape, but I don't see any realm of possibility where I survive. Unless there's some way that I can specifically couple. I mean, I would have to repair my suit, get the thing off of me, kill it, somehow maybe attach to the O2 generator specifically. And I have not even a minute of air left.
You can hold your breath. That'll give you a couple of minutes.
Okay. I mean, I'll try to do all of that.
It all depends on what you want to do. I mean, this is a horror movie game. You know, it's that you're at that moment where you're in that cliche moment. You're out of air. The thing's with you. Hope is just a few feet away. What big risk are you going to take to make this work?
I mean, trying to get oxygen is. I guess I could potentially. If I can make it to where it doesn't perceive me as a threat, because I was around eggs, and so I guess I can assume.
Interesting.
Maybe it's just being protective, and so if I try to. I know everyone yelled at me for being calm earlier, but once again, I'll try to be calm, and I'll not, rather than like flee, try to run, escape, hit it anymore. I know it doesn't speak human, but I'll like put my hands up and like while holding my breath, I'll just try to calmly walk out of the restroom away from its eggs to the O2 generator.
Okay. You're going to attempt to maintain control and not appear panicked.
Yes, I'm not a threat.
Give me a persuade roll, please.
Okay.
Your target's 20.
My persuade is very low. Yeah.
As you step away from this, content in your own mind that this is going to make a difference. This is going to be it. You feel as this thing envelops you. Your last breath goes out. You are now at 1 survival point. Or no, 0 survival points. You're still here. You're still in, but you're on the edge. And you feel as this thing mixes with what you're gasping for in air and goes into your mouth and nostrils as you plug the hose for your leaky suit into the O2 generator. And you hear as it begins to hiss with air. And I'll come back to you in just a moment. Tell me what's going on in the rest of the ship, people. Burke, that was a very good roll. You aren't sure how long it'll last, but you're sure it will hold pressure. You have sealed up front of the ship.
Okay.
Also, there's an indicator light flashing on the navigator's console.
What does it say?
It's just a red flashing light.
Okay, no button, just a light.
If you want to spend time learning the console and identifying it, give me a roll for it.
Okay, what an identify roll for this?
Yep. Everyone else, tell me what you're up to.
15.
Trying to access the captain's log.
You know what
trying
I'm
to
doing? I'm
contact
making sure.
Specialist
Go
Patterson.
ahead, Tugs.
Yeah, I'm just like, Specialist Patterson, the airlock's ready. It's ready. You can come out. Just bring the air hose with you. I'm just like repeating that over and over.
Okay.
And I'm making sure my dead man switch is wired in to blow this fucking ship up if I don't hit the button every 4 hours.
You've got it wired in. The engines are not running at the moment, so it won't do anything, but it is wired in. Maddox, you attempt again to gain access as the captain, and it says voice print failure.
Okay,
Security breach, and an alarm goes off, and you hear as the door slams. Well, you don't hear, you feel as the door slams closed, and there are sparks all the way around the door as it welds itself shut.
No.
And considering I'm in the engine room and probably just saw it closed, I'm ignoring it because of the way she told me to, do my page grade and not worry about the computer room so she can fucking handle it as I go back to what I'm doing.
Can I attempt one more time to I have nothing better to do at the moment, so can I attempt to access the captain's logs again? I will enter the captain code again, differently though. Like I will spend my point because I suddenly have an aha moment and I remember the access code that I'm supposed to use.
You're spending a survival point. I'm sorry, I thought I was muted.
Yes.
Everybody's listening to me type, and I thought I was muted.
Yeah, we were wondering what you're typing.
I hate it when I do that. So you spend a survival point for this. I think that's more than fair. You gain access into the system, and you are able to start rooting around. You see damage reports from all over, and you see flashes of light on a diagram of the ship, showing you where all the intruders are. It starts by showing a red flash in the computer room, which turns to green. That must be you. But every other indicator is red.
Can I access the captain's log before, apparently shit hit the fan, so can I access the last log entry?
All right. Go ahead and give me an identify as you navigate through the computer system, and let's see what you find.
Okay.
As you root around in the system trying to find things, records seem to be very messed up. There seem to be a lot of issues inside of the system, and you are unable to locate the logs.
Okay. Is there oxygen pumping still in the room?
You only have oxygen in your suit, which is going to run out in about 5 minutes.
Shit.
As a matter of fact, everybody's on the 5-minute counter, except
Okay.
Patterson.
I'm going to spend one more of my lovely little to try to find one more of those points to try to find specifically the last captain's log entry, or want to find out what happened on the ship.
All right, well, we'll continue to let you look. It's only a matter of time if you can find the records. So I'm just going to let that go, and I'm going to check and see what everybody else is doing at the moment as you self-centeredly try to find the captain's log while everybody else
toilet.
slowly
Check
dies.
the bathroom. Always check the bathroom for the captain's log.
That was uncalled for.
Oh. Oh, that's terrible.
So Tugs is still trying to get Sage. If Tugs doesn't get an answer, he's going to radio Dr. Murdoch.
At the moment, you get no answer.
I'm Dr. Murdoch. Kind of an emergency here.
Okay, what's the problem now? I'm trying to get this shit working.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so I was with Sage, and then she really calmly said that there was an alien, but now she's not responding on her radio. And I was trying to make the airlock ready, but the oxygen thing is on the inside, so I can't hook up the oxygen thing to the airlock to get it pressurized. And we're all very low on oxygen, so I'm kind of worried, and I need instructions, Doctor.
Step into the airlock. You built it so it's not pressurized like the hallway. Step into the airlock, close it, open the other door. Just be ready. You're probably going to get slammed around a little bit. Actually, you're going to get... Yeah, it's not going to be pleasant. Just open the door and let the pressure equalize, painfully. And then you'll be in the room.
Okay, so you
That's
want me
all
to
you're
go
gonna
in
do.
the room where Specialist Sage is not answering, grab the oxygen, put it in the airlock, and repressurize the airlock. Is that what you're saying, Doctor?
That's not going to do any good, because then when you try to get in the airlock, I suggest you reach into my tool bag, grab the micro welder, and burn the shit out of whatever alien that is. That's all I can tell you. I'm down here making sure we have a plan B in place.
Okay, Dr. Murdoch, you're not at all concerned that once the airlock is open, whatever is inside of this room is going to be able to come out and get you?
That's why you're going to go in there and stop it from coming through. I'm counting on you, Tugs. Tugs, this is the chance to prove to me you're ready to be my assistant. You're going to make sure that thing does not get out of there. I don't care if you have to beat it to death with your own leg. Keep it from getting out of there. I mean, I'm sure you better be quick because you left my tools in there and I may need them later.
Well, no, I have your tools right here, Doctor.
Well, then you should be able to grab the welder and it's tiny, don't worry, and burn it.
All right, I'll do what you say, Doctor. All right. You might need to run if this doesn't go well.
I've already got a plan in here. The moment the computer comes online, I'm starting the damn engine up.
Okay. All right. I'll let you know how it goes. If you don't hear from me in 5 minutes, find some safety, Doctor.
Yeah, I don't know where safe on yeah, that's not going to end well for any of us. We'll just, born to slave for the corporation, I guess. Now, I'm going to spend a survival point, leaves me down to 1, because I happen to know in these engine rooms where there's a hidden canister of emergency oxygen, you see. Because all the engineers always stash one. There's about 3 places they put them. And I'll go down to 1 survival point to break out that emergency canister of oxygen. Hey, engineers stash shit everywhere, and we all know where we stash it.
Perfectly fine. Spend that survival point. We're at 10, so the tension level's not going up anymore. But I will get back to you.
Oh, we're doomed, but I want to have air so I could die screaming.
I will get back to you in just a moment. Maddox, as you are rooting through, you find a log. It's distorted, disrupted, but it features the captain. The rest of the crew I had to use a mining explosive, and the bridge is no longer habitable. I'm going to barricade myself and Mr. Whiskers in the living quarters. I've turned on the emergency beacon, but I don't know how long it's going to last. The computer shut itself off twice. If it goes off again, I won't be able to bring it back online. Air's getting low. And you see as he picks up a hypodermic. I'm going to last as long as I can. But I'm not going to go out screaming the way they did. And he pushes a button and the screen goes black.
Computer, how many unidentified organisms are currently on board this ship right now?
26.
Wipe all data. And then I'm gonna tell it to wipe all the data. Everything, hard drives, everything clean. And then I'm going to can I set a self-destruct?
Are you asking the computer?
I'm asking you. Can I set a self-destruct for X amount of time limit for everybody to...
Well, it depends on your authorization level that you've achieved.
Okay.
You've only hacked in yourself. You didn't use your portable AI to do it, so it's just a matter of what you're able to persuade the computer to do.
All right. Then I will try to see if I can set a self-destruct.
Okay. Do you require a non-recoverable destruction of system data?
I'm sorry, I did not hear that. What was that again?
Do you require a non-recoverable destruction of system data?
Yes.
Does this include the AI?
Yes.
And it puts up a prompt, gives you a little button that's lit in red, and all you have to do is push that button.
Engineer Murdoch.
Yeah, what?
So it has come to my attention recently that a lot of things have been above, well, both of our pay grades. In a manner of speaking, in a way. Well, not so much my pay grade, but either way, it doesn't matter. I believe now would be a good time to inform you that I don't think that we're going to make it off the ship. So, just a heads up to anybody that is listening. Get right with whatever deity you decide that you are following. Because this is the last few moments that we will all have.
That's fine. Can you turn the engine on first?
Why would I do that?
I just want to make sure of a few things.
If it makes you feel better, that last bit of accomplishment, fine.
Thank you. Because my little tap in there will make sure the engine does not shut down. It doesn't receive shutdown codes anymore. That bitch is going to blow one way or another.
I intend I will turn that on, but I'm hitting the button though.
Okay.
For the
So
self-destruct.
you first tell the engines to power on. The engines power up, and immediately you hear the hiss of air. In any area that's sealed, you hear the hiss of air as it begins to build up pressure. It's going to take a little while, but it's working on it. And then you push the button. And behind you, you hear, and because there's a little bit of atmosphere now, and feel as the hard drives behind you, the small explosives that are planted inside them explode. And the room fills with black smoke as the air in your suit runs out. And
of course, now that you wipe the drives, the AI can't do a self-destruct because you've destroyed the AI.
What would you like? I would like for you to describe to me your last moments in this sealed room that is filling with smoke as your suit has run out of air.
The last few moments that she would do, she's gonna go take a seat. There's not a captain's chair or a chair, right?
There's 4 chairs in here in this room. So
I'm gonna take a seat in the center, as close to the center chair as I can. And she's just gonna take her helmet off.
And there's a little bit of air, but it's also filled with smoke. So
ooh, before I do that, like the last thing that she tells them is she's going to inform them that there are 27 living organisms that are not human on the ship with them.
you take your helmet off and you hear the as you remove it. As you cough, you slowly begin to hear yourself coughing as the atmosphere builds up. And then you hear the alarm bells going off, getting louder and louder as the air fills the room. And it's an interesting juxtaposition as the air begins to make the volume louder as your consciousness fades and all the sound grows softer. And it is dark. And Corporate Representative Michelle Maddox is no longer with us.
Now, after her great last speech, we're going to press F, everyone, for Michelle Maddox.
F for Maddox. Yep. That's not F to give respects, by the way.
After that 27 notice, I think it's time for me to spend my survival point down to 0.
Okay.
so that I can yank the relay out of the coolant loop system for the
Okay.
engine
Mhm.
so that it won't cool. So it is going to explode rather quickly as it runs
All right.
in a critical reaction.
As you reach
That
in
puts
to
me at
pull
0,
this,
so it probably kills me.
as you reach in to pull on the coolant system, you feel as something slithers up and wraps around your arm. And as you pull this out, you pull it back, and it's a long container, and you pull it, and you see something coming with it as you pull it back. And as it reaches the end, the last thing you see are needle-sharp teeth as they pierce through your eyes and chin. And everything goes
And
black.
my last words are, I still got you, motherfucker. You're burning too.
All of you are hearing this over your mics, by the way. So,
Oh shit! I just got this room sealed.
Dr. Murdoch? Dr. Murdoch? Oh, jeez. Tugs has been like getting the tool kit and outfitting himself with whatever ridiculous weapons he can put together. So he's got like the little welder thing in one hand, and he's got like a little like mini flamethrower. And as the oxygen comes on, he tests it. He's like, oh, this might work now. And he just like gets the welding spray and just sprays a whole bunch of nails like on his chest and stuff. And he's just like getting ready to go. And he walks over to the crank and just starts trying to crank the door open.
I am literally laughing so hard I'm crying. Oh, Lord.
He's like humming the Eye of the Tiger in the microphone. He's like,
that was one of Maddox's favorite songs.
Yeah. Can I just point out that Tugs was the one to like be like almost down to like no air in the very beginning to be like one of the last survivors?
Yeah,
No.
Okay, so you were going to enter the airlock, I believe.
oh yeah,
Okay.
that's Murdoch's last instructions was to take on whatever it is.
Before you enter the airlock, I'm going to talk to Burke since he's isolated in a room at the moment. Burke, as you're looking at the navigation console, you see as the red light turns to green and the navigation system comes online. And then you see the engines come on, you feel the rumble, you hear the hiss of air, and the console goes dead. There's still power, but there's no display.
Well, I've been hearing Murdoch and Maddox talking over the comms anyway, so I know what's coming. So.
All right. You open the door, McCoy. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you going to take an action? I wasn't sure.
No, I just want to get
Burke. Sorry, let me ask Burke.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say I was going to come out of the bridge.
Oh, okay.
And see, well, Tugs has already gone into the other room, or is
you see the door close on this makeshift airlock.
Okay. I come up behind him and wait for it to cycle. If there's...
You're waiting for the green light to come on. And of course, Tugs went to the trouble of gaffer taping a green and a red light to it so that you know what's going on. And finally, there's enough power for the doors to open when you push a button. So you're able to get out of the bridge quickly, okay?
Okay.
All right, Tugs, you open the door.
Now, I would just, could I get a survival point for putting myself in harm's way for the chief engineer since he asked me to do this?
Sure, absolutely.
Excellent.
It'll do you a fat lot of good, but you've got it.
I'm sure it will. I have one assault, by the way, so this is going to go terribly.
Well, let's see what happens when you walk in the room before you make a choice of what you're going to do. You walk into the room and Sage, what does he see?
You're muted.
Yeah. That was just a deep breath. You just see Sage basically gasping for air, connected to the O2. She's been listening to everything as well as she can in her messed up spacesuit. She's managed while hooked up to the O2 to kind of try to grab a blanket and wrap it around the ripped open part of the space chute.
Well, I will say the room is
Maybe some duct
pressurized.
tape.
The room is pressurized quite a bit. You're not gasping
point,
for air
yeah.
anymore. I mean,
Okay,
you're not up to an atmosphere, but you're not doing too bad.
Okay. I'm like huddled in a blanket and I'm just like taking labored breaths and just kind of like I look up.
Sage, are you okay? Your microphone's not working.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me.
What? I
Actually,
still have my
I'm
helmet
only-
on. You have to talk louder.
Only half good, half bad, half good. This is my only way of communicating to you. Please, Tugs, please.
Oh.
Okay.
Were you in danger? Your helmet looks messed up.
Yeah.
But you're good now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mostly.
Hey, Burke, it seems safe in here, and there's like oxygen and the pressure's equalized. It seems pretty good. If you just go through the airlock, we'll open the door for you.
And with the ship's engines running, the ship's system is producing oxygen, and the temperature's rising as it attempts to adjust the climate as well.
And continuing to rise because the coolant loop is gone.
We'll get to that part.
There's the thing that attacked me. Can you? Is there a way for me to fix my comms? Can I just like tweak with it, like tap it, like see if there's a way for me to communicate?
You can. I mean, you're not an engineer or anything, but I'll give you an identify on that if you want to attempt to fix it. But I mean, I would say the room's getting to a point you could take the helmet off
I
if
could
you
just
wanted
take
to.
the helmet off. Okay. Yeah, that's probably just what I'll do. Is I'll make a motion of like, this is okay, we're safe, and I'll take my helmet off.
Tugs is gonna go to like do the same thing, but it's stuck. So he's like,
Burke, I'm going to assume. Burke, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward you. You've cycled through the airlock, so Tugs did a good job on this. You are in the, and it's such a small airlock. You kind of have to inhale to step into it. So
yeah.
while you're standing there, the egg rack from the refrigerator door is in your back the whole time anyway. So.
Nice.
Okay, so I come in. I see is Burke or Tugs struggling with his helmet.
He
It's
is
welded onto his suit. And Sage has hers off and looks like most of the blood has drained from her body. She's just in shock, basically.
Can I help Tugs try to twist the and you disengage the helmet, or is it welded on too tightly?
Can I try to use my research skill again to see if like I have something that'll get this off?
Sure.
Like, that'll open up the welding thing.
Sure.
You got my toolkit, man. There's all kinds of tools in it.
Oh, never mind. I don't know how to use a research skill. So I put it down
you
as
have
a
to-
specialization, but I don't know. Do
Just
I have
hit the button next to the specialization. That's all you got to
Does that
do.
do anything?
Yeah. You rolled a 7.
All right. Well, this is not. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and with your specialization, that's pretty sad.
It actually didn't.
I think I didn't put any points in the special. Like,
Yeah,
are
it
you
didn't
supposed to
roll
put
his extra
points in the
special.
Okay, then I will add 8 to that score because that's what it would be.
Okay,
That gives
okay.
you a 15. So you realize this stuff is welded so good, but you also realize you could cut the suit around. The suit wouldn't be usable anymore, but you're in a contained oxygen space at this point, so you could maybe scavenge and repair it later, but you could cut yourself out of the suit. It wouldn't be in much worse condition than Sage's uniform or spacesuit is. It's
So
in
I
pretty
don't
bad
think
shape
Tugs
too.
would do that unless he ran out of oxygen. So I think I'm going to keep it on for now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I welded it shut so that I could put the iPod in here with the headphones so Murdoch could listen to his music while he was working on the reactor.
What iPod?
Well, he had an iPod up here. It was one of his items that he was allowed to bring with him to make him think of home. I brought a rubber duck. He brought an iPod.
As sound has equalized in here because you now have almost a full atmosphere of pressure, good oxygen. I mean, it's a nice mix. The temperatures actually come up to about, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not bad. It's cold, but it's actually climbing and continuing to climb. You're also beginning to hear a loud, very loud whining noise, and you feel a rumble in the deck.
Hmm.
So what's the
Sage,
plan here, team?
What's wrong with you? You're awfully pale.
I don't know where it went. I think I blacked out for a moment trying to get oxygen, but there was a alien in the bath. There's actually still eggs in the bathroom as well. I think it was trying to protect its kids, so I tried to stay calm and get oxygen again. And I don't know where it is anymore. It might still be attached to me. I feel okay. I've been able to breathe, but I don't know if anyone else is still alive. My comms aren't working anymore. I don't really have a functional suit, so I can't leave this room.
Let's have a look at you. Let's see what shape your suit's in.
Okay. I mean, do we have any form of repairs? I mean, are you able to share any oxygen?
I'm just about out, and I take my helmet off.
Okay.
But Tugs, do you still have any of that welding stuff left with you?
Oh yeah, I have it in my pocket. But you said the eggs are in the bathroom?
Yeah.
And you think the monster went back in there, or the alien, or whatever it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Can I reach over and try to close that door?
Sure.
All right, let me try doing that.
Okay.
Is there a button?
There is a button.
This is, I press the button.
And the door closes.
Okay.
Oh, there was just a button. That's a lot better than what I was going to do.
Yeah, I mean, we've got systems online for the most part. I mean, where do you guys think we go from here other than
Well, I'm sure Dr. Murdoch is going to get everything back and running. So I think we should just wait here until he comes back on and he gets his microphone fixed, and then we just wait here, and then we're gonna be okay. Dr. Murdoch's going to take care of everything. Don't worry. He's a genius.
Okay.
The rumbling turns into a shake as the ground trembles underneath you.
Navigator Berg, so with that 30% failure rate, what's your experience with something like this? Because I'm kind of concerned.
This one's out of my hands. I can't even pilot it right now. Computers still seem to be offline. I'm hoping Murdoch has got everything under control.
I would like Burke and McCoy to both make identify checks, please. I've got one. I'm waiting on the others to show up.
Am I the other one?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I forgot I was McCoy. Identify. Here we go. There we go.
You should have called him Tugs. He knows Tugs.
I would have known Tugs.
Who the heck is McCoy? Sorry.
Well, McCoy's about to become Bones. So, Burke, as you look over, you realize Patterson has multiple shadows. And then a moment later, the three of you have infinite shadows as the ship engine explodes in a burst of light. And you are vaporized.
At least I didn't have a monster in me.
See, Murdoch knows what he's doing.
I would just
He was
like
a competent engineer.
I would just like to point out, I, the storyteller, did not kill anyone in this entire stream. Not one.
You know what?
It's true.
Because
Damn it, Murdoch,
just because
I
you didn't
trusted
kill
you.
anybody, I felt it was my turn to kill every fucking body.
I didn't even get to really get the aliens out of the bathroom. You know, come on.
I did my best.
Yeah, guys, there's an alien here eating my helmet. Okay, cool.
What you guys don't know is that corporate representative Michelle Maddox has a super secret clone back at corporate headquarters.
Oh,
What you don't know is Maddox didn't care. He was just trying to blow the fucking ship up.
damn.
Cool.
This is
Well, if
why-
we hadn't been vaporized, I was about to eat you guys. So.
Hey, listen, I've got like a flamethrower and a toothpick, and I'm ready to go.
I'm sure there's a hammer. Actually, it's a 0G hammer, so it's a opposite force. It's pretty cool. And a screwdriver somewhere in there, but it's also one that, you know, counteracts the lack of gravity. So, yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming.
And I want to
play
point
in
out,
this.
I've got
game.
to point out to chat. Once again, somebody in chat brings up Maddox and Murdoch are going to have to hook up. Jesus Christ, how come in every game that I play with Sam, someone wants to suggest that our characters are going to hook up? What the fuck is wrong here?
Arguing plus clash of wills apparently is a thing.
Apparently.
There really was a way out, and people could have survived this evening. So, Sam, I'm sorry I've killed you once again.
It happens.
You
Or
notice he
actually,
didn't
you
say
killed
he's sorry he
yourself.
killed me.
And
Well, technically, you still
Zim,
haven't killed me, Tim.
Moira, Lance, I'm really sorry that you all had to die as well.
It
was
wasn't
really
you
a
though.
shame. So,
I'm still Tim kill free.
that
Yeah,
is
'cause
true.
the first dead
Other
of night,
players
he-
try to kill me so
I
much.
would say the first dead of night, me and Tugs, or actually Father Robert and Zim got in a fight, and Zim fucking murdered Father Robert all over the empty flask
Listen,
because
I've
we
been the
ran out
only
of liquor.
survivor like 3 times in a row. That's true.
No, none of us survived the plant monsters. We all left as plant monsters.
Yep.
Oh, that's
It
right,
was
that's
just
right.
so funny because like Tugs started out like, oh, and you've lost an hour of oxygen compared to everybody else. You're down to 5 minutes, and we're all like, we got like 20 minutes or more, and yet you're like the one that's just still kicking the entire
Yeah, what
time. Like,
happened?
no, I'm gonna live, gonna live.
Before this stream started, Zim contacted me and we had a little chat, and he said, look, I'm your intern. Give me the shittiest jobs you can, because my bad habit is I'll do whatever you tell him to do, no matter how dangerous. And I'm like, okay, we can do this. So yeah, I was giving him all the dangerous shit because that's what he asked me to do. And that's what we were going with. And we went with it. And holy hell, I couldn't believe you lost an hour right off of oxygen. Shit.
No fucking Burke. Burke cracked me up. Hey, I need you to tell Murdoch this for me. I need you to get Murdoch to talk to me.
When you said you were about to nuke the drives and it said that, I was like, oh shit, if she kills the AI before we start the engines, we can't start the engines, which means I can't blow the fucking ship up.
Yeah, I started the engines. Don't worry. I got those started for you.
All right.
This was a lot of fun. Please,
Had a
everyone, check
blast.
out the Discord. If you enjoyed this game, check the chat. We've got a Discord link. I have news for you. Tam recruits for these games right off the Discord, like the rest of our shows on here. So if you want to play this kind of game with Tam Shu and any of the amazing people here, that's where it comes from, is on the Discord. So if you're not a member of it, you don't get to play these.
Tomorrow night.
And
Tomorrow night. Same time, same channel. for the Wraith Life Derailed Cast Q&A. So you'll have a few people on there who also, I will point out, Shanky killed. So I just want to point that out.
So if you've got any questions about the Wraith game, you can come there. If you have any questions for anyone who was in Wraith, feel free to come to the Q&A and ask questions about it, because they're all sick in the head for agreeing to play the game. And I'm even sicker for agreeing to run it. So
on Saturday, we have Ishfel, which is a Viking-themed D&D game that is at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So join us for that.
It may start a little late Saturday because
I think she said I think the last thing she said, she was probably going to be on time. But if we do run late, we'll sing and dance and entertain for you, maybe. So,
Berlin points out Friday.
Who's running that on Friday, Berlin?
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, there's somebody running a 10 Candles game that is.
Apparently, you're running it, Tim.
And apparently, it's a game where in the end, everyone dies. But considering this one had a hope, maybe everybody will live. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
If you missed the last 10 Candles Tam Rain last week, it was an amazing fucking game. It's in the video on demands right down. It was a fucking amazing game. Yeah, you'll see familiar faces right here in it, and from other shows we have. It was fucking amazing, and I can't highly recommend enough to go and watch the previous 10 Candles because it was that good, and I know Friday's is going to be just as good because it was amazing to watch. The players and the storyteller in that game was just crazy.
The players drive that game, and it was incredible. Two of the players are here, and they did an outstanding job. So.
And yeah.
All right. And that is 8 p.m., I believe, on Friday.
Yeah.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Time.
Eastern time. Yep. All right. Well, with that, thank you, everybody. Please join us on the Discord. Look forward to seeing you over there. And
one more thing. You're forgetting the Chops exit. We got to do the Chops exit.
I'm not
mental health.
I can't do it justice.
I will do it for him because I agree with his statement. Mental health is no joke, everyone, especially during these times. Don't assume everyone is okay. Check on your friends, check on your family, call them, see if they're doing okay because it's no joke. If you are someone who has issues with mental health, don't be afraid to reach out for help because there's times when you can't bear it alone and you need to reach out for help. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And take your mental health and physical health seriously. And there we go. And I wanted to do that for Chops because he's right.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, players. I had fun. Hope you had fun. Sorry I didn't kill you myself.
It was a blast, so to speak.
My bad.
Had so
it lit
much
up your
fun.
life. It lit up your life. Yeah.
Smoking.
Smoking.
There was some hot stuff at the end. We're good.
Hey, you got to break a few eggs.
We scrambled the shit out of these.
Jeez.
All right. With that, I'm going to let you go.
All right. Good night, everybody.